That's overcharging. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years, and I can tell you no matter how complicated your injury case, you should never be charged 45% or 50% in attorney's fees ever. Direct, experienced, unrelenting, and honest local representation matters. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries. So for the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Hey everyone, Johnny Mosley here, kicking off your Thursday with the Toyota Tahoe Report. The Toyota's warmed up and pointed toward the mountains. So let's take a look at how conditions are shaping up today.
Thanks, Johnny. Thursday's forecast is looking like a nice one. Expect mild weather with highs near 50 degrees, mostly clear skies, and very light winds. Temperatures continue to warm on Friday. This report is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson. Online at SactownSports.com or on the app. Kings, Niners, and Sacramento. The Matt and Kayla Show starts now.
Hey, I'm Matt George. I'm with Kayla Anderson. I don't matter. Kyle Ledbetter matters, but Kayla really matters because, you know, we're like 30 seconds before going on the air, and Kayla looks at her phone and, oh, hey, Patriots head coach, you know, the head coach of the team that's playing in the Super Bowl next week? Oh, yeah, he was talking about you, Kayla, and he wants to come on your show. So I'm just, you know what, Matt don't matter. It's the Kayla Anderson Show with the idiot and Kyle Ledbetter, but Mike Vrabel wants to talk to Kayla Anderson, and that's pretty darn cool.
It's funny because we were talking about getting guests on for the Patriots side of things, because we've talked a lot about the Seahawks just because the 49ers are in the NFC West. So naturally we talk more about the Seahawks. And so let's get a Patriots person on. And I reached out to several people, including Mike Reese with ESPN, who does an incredible job. But like, as you can imagine, everyone is like slammed.
Why? What's going on?
There's a thing called the Super Bowl next week.
That's a big bowl.
It's a big bowl. And so they're already scheduled out.
Oh, you have to do things ahead of time?
Yeah.
Weird.
So I'm not going to be able to get Mike Reese on, but I got a lovely text from the amazing Diana Rossini, who was on our show week 1.
Come back, Diana.
And she's like, yeah, I was chatting with Braves, and he said, yeah, if you want, like, give him a text, see if he wants to come on the show. So I don't know if he knows that we're not going to be at Super Bowl anymore, but
worth a try.
I will try.
Worth
I
a
will
try.
promise you I will try, people, to at least get Braves on the show.
This is why Kayla Anderson is here. I yell about multi-lane drive-thrus and talk about the Kings hopefully coherently, and Kayla actually books amazing guests and gets, like, I don't know, like Super Bowl head coaches that are about to coach in the Super Bowl. I mean, what it's a very equal partnership.
Yeah,
very equal partnership.
It is equal. It equals each other out because we are May 24th, May 23rd.
That is true. That
That
true.
is
May birthdays. We had a
Gemini.
sales meeting this morning. Shout out to our wonderful sales team downstairs. So hopefully we didn't scare them all off. I mean, they liked Kayla and they were looking at me like, yeah, bud, you're a lost cause.
It's always like a little scary and intimidating though when you walk into a room of like, what was it, 16 people, 17 people?
And they're all dressed so nicely.
Yeah, and we're in our jeans
and
in our little
hey,
comfy shirts.
Rolled out of bed and I'm about to talk about it.
But it was fun.
Yeah, it was great.
It was really
our
fun.
sales team is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking in the crossover there with Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross, talking about misheard lyrics. And it got me thinking about a conversation that I had with someone recently. So I have on my music streaming service.
Yeah.
They don't pay us, so I'm not going to say who it is. I have a playlist. It's my favorite songs playlist. And I don't make different playlists for like different moods or different genres. I just have one big playlist that if I like the song, it goes in there. And when I turn that thing on shuffle, it is an incoherent mix of Matt George's brain. People tell me I'm insane for that I have just one big playlist and you will play it and it'll be Bruno Mars and then it'll go to some random like Bad Bunny song. Yeah, it's just all over the place. It's when you turn that playlist on shuffle, you never know where you're going to go. And apparently I'm insane for that. Is that weird?
Okay, here we go again.
Are we in the same?
Now I just need to say, do a bit. No, Matt, you're insane. I can't believe that you don't, do different subjects, different categories.
Thank you.
For your different moods.
You're the same way?
I'm the same way because,
Hell yeah.
first of all, I don't have the time and energy to focus different playlists on different categories. I'd rather just have them compile because I actually like the randomness of something that I put on there 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that song for 3 years and it pops up on, my playlist. I'm like, yeah, okay, that is a banger. Like, I like it.
And every once in a while, you have to do some spring cleaning on these playlists. The song will pop up. You're like, I don't really vibe with that anymore. And then you take it off.
Sure.
Or you go through and you go to like the end of the playlist because my playlist started in college. So 2012 is when this playlist started.
Mine might go back further.
So it's just a mess of songs and genres. And so I'll clean it up every once in a while. But people tell me I'm insane for this. And I come from the generation, I don't know. I come from the generation of, like, if you had an iPod in school, you were cool.
Yeah.
And iPods were just iTunes library dump on this machine, and you would pick your favorite songs every once in a while that you wanted to listen to, but also
shuffle them.
Yeah, turn that sucker in shuffle mode, and you just listen to whatever comes up.
Yeah.
So that's my generation of music people. But apparently now it's like, no, if you have a music streaming service, you have to have 17 different playlists for whatever mood you're in, or, oh, this is my nighttime drive playlist, or I'm feeling country today, so this is my country playlist. Nope. It's all the same thing.
I don't have time for that. Now, there is Pandora, you can just go to the different genres if you want.
Yeah, I don't like
So if you prefer to do that, you can do that on Pandora. But I usually, if I am for some reason in a mood where I'm just like R&B rap, like I usually would just skip through.
Yeah.
Until I get that song.
I use 3 playlists.
Okay.
I have 3 I have my big, humongous hodgepodge favorite playlist. I have a Christmas music playlist for the Christmas time of year. And then I have a
kids.
No, I should do that though.
You should do that.
I have and then I go to like the top 50 or top 100 songs in the USA to listen to new music.
Okay.
So if I'm feeling a mood for something different, I'll just listen to it and I like the song, bang.
Exactly.
Like that's it. That's all I need. Kyle disagrees with us with everything, so I'm surprised.
Kyle will disagree.
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna disagree with this.
Well, we've had this conversation before because remember when we were doing Getting to Know You, I talked about I am super particular with my Spotify playlist. So it is one playlist. Yep. It's currently at like 2,400 songs.
So you have one long one too?
Yes, it's just called Kyle's Playlist. It's 141 hours and 10 minutes long. The one thing that I am weird about that you brought up too is once a song is in there, it's like a museum. Like even if I don't like it anymore, it's still
Nah, because there were bad decisions that were made.
There were bad decisions I made, but it's now like a museum of like this is who I was at that time.
Once upon a time, like What Does a Fox Say in Gangnam Style was in there, and like that was just a phase.
Who let the dogs out?
Oh, that's in there. Oh yeah, that song's in there.
I'm going through it. I found Gangnam Style, which is right next to Harlem Shake.
Oh, I kind of like the Harlem Shake. I get all like vibey.
Yeah, but
and
that's for a trend. That's not like a song.
I know.
But 2013 me wanted to add it.
Yeah, we should bring it back on the show. And just like get in random costumes, and like Matt's in like a giraffe costume, and I'm like a hippo costume, and Kyle's in like a bunny rabbit, and then we just dance with like the Zach LaVine and Demonis Sabonis posters behind us.
Why do I got to be a giraffe?
Get up on the table. Well, because you're long
just
and
cause.
tall.
She called me lanky. That's what she called me.
I called myself a hippo.
I was gonna say I
don't know if that is a reflection of me.
No, I'm just saying if I'm glad you did, because if Kyle or I ever did that, we're canceled and you're gonna kill us on the spot. So
gosh.
I'm just I didn't laugh.
I don't know. Funny. I think hippos are cute. Like you seen the what's it called, Moodang?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Sure, they're cute. Kayla Anderson does not reflect hippopotamus.
I could wear a sumo suit and do that.
Those are cool though. Those are great. I've always wanted to do those. Have you seen those big hamster balls that people run full speed into each other and just bounce off each other?
That'd be fun.
I'd get rocked because I have the BMI of like 3%, so I'm gone.
You would fly.
The one that I think is crazy is that people will do that, but like in a pool or like in water.
Oh, yeah, you're running on it. It's like a hamster ball.
You're like running on water, essentially.
That'd be pretty sick.
Oh, that's wild.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be really cool. We need a reality show with some of this that's not Survivor. It's more fun. You know, we do games like that, not like eat a tarantula.
Some of the Survivor challenges, like I always talk myself into, like I would do good in these, and I would not do good in any of them.
You've established pretty clearly you would stink at Survivor.
Oh, I would be terrible. I
be bad,
love
too.
Survivor. I love it. I love watching and thinking through and like, oh, this is the strategy I would do, and just watching people try things. Like I always root for the nerd on Survivor who's like studied the game forever.
Sure.
Like there was a guy on there who won once named Cochran, and he wrote his college thesis on Survivor theory. And
That
it's
is
like
nuts.
those people I vibe with, because I'm like, you're just trying to outsmart everybody, outwit.
Yeah.
Um,
We had a media member in Tennessee 2 years ago that went on and got second place.
We've
recently.
had a couple Sacramento adjacent people. We had Joe,
Yeah.
Katie's husband,
Katie's
recently,
husband.
and he was like he wasn't the heartthrob of the show, but he was like the good guy of the show
Sure.
because he had a bond with a woman on that show that everybody loved.
Yep.
And then we had Scott Pollard, former Sacramento King, that was on Survivor, and
That's
his
right.
season was miserable.
That's right.
They were in the middle. I don't remember where they were, but it was hot, and the sunburns of that season were
I wouldn't last on
brutal.
that.
Yeah, Scott did fairly well in Survivor, but I would be horrible. I would be god
I would
awful.
not be good.
Yeah, no. I don't like fish, and that's all they eat other than rice and sleeping on bamboo. Nah.
Mosquito bites,
Nah.
bug bites.
I don't have natural padding, so my hip is just bone.
Same here.
And sleeping on my hip and not having like a pillow to rest my head on, hell no. And I've also thought about this too, like what would I wear to Survivor? Because the point is they want you to dress like a normal human being that got stranded, and they want you to dress that reflects you. And in TV, I always wore like button-down shirts and jackets and stuff. So I'm like, would I wear
Would
that?
you wear that?
But
That'd
I'd
be
be
hilarious.
uncomfortable, and I sure as hell wouldn't be like those psychopaths that walk around in their underwear all day. So it's like,
No.
what? I have no idea what I'd wear on Survivor. I would never wear jeans. People wear jeans on Survivor. You're psychos.
I couldn't do
Wet
that.
jeans? Idiots.
No, that's so uncomfortable. I would wear like a cutoff hoodie because it could benefit me.
Yeah, when it gets chilly.
Yeah, and then I don't like shorts, so I'd probably do like a linen type of pant.
Yeah.
Because that can keep you cool.
Yeah.
But it's still a pant, covers your leg, covers you from mosquito bites. And then Tevas. Do you remember Tevas?
No.
Tevas. They're like a open-toed shoe, but you can like get in the water with them, and like you can do stuff in them.
Could I naturally I naturally wear a Snuggie. I wear a Snuggie all the time.
You'd
Can you let me bring a
have
Snuggie?
great followers on there just for that.
Hey man.
Would you wear a Snuggie on a deserted island?
If
That'd be so funny.
Listen, if I was on a plane and I was comfy and the plane went down, I might be wearing a Snuggie on the
Yeah.
plane.
Those are facts.
Resourceful.
Yeah, that's if you've done it before, got to think in that manner.
Yeah, I would not do well on Survivor, but my application is submitted to be on Traders. That is true.
A new episode comes out tonight. By the
That
way.
is true.
According to Alan Cumming in an interview I saw pop up on my feed, this episode 7 is supposed to be the best episode ever.
I'm only 3 in.
Oh, you
and
gotta
I
catch
saw
up.
I saw the twist on episode 3 and it made me sad. But I'm only 3 in. So don't spoil anything. And those of you who don't watch Traders, you absolutely should. It's a wonderful reality show where it's basically a murder mystery party meets Clue and meets a little bit of Survivor.
It's just Among Us. If you've ever played the game Among Us,
Yeah.
it's literally Among Us.
and it's a blast. And they're in this cool castle in Scotland. Alan Cummings is amazing.
Yep, it's fun.
It's great. It's a
The
lot of fun.
fashion is fun too.
Yeah.
If you like fashion.
We have a lot on today's show that we're excited about. Shockingly, Giannis is dominating the news cycle around the NBA as we figured it would. Now, it's funny. The NBA was already waiting on Giannis, but it was just like quiet. And now it's loud, and now everyone's like, obviously, okay, we're just all waiting on Giannis.
We can't get away from it either
No.
because it's literally on every television show, sports television show, every part of social media when I open it up.
Yep.
Giannis. It's just like bubbles all over.
And we are a week away from today.
Yeah.
So when we hit noon today, which, by the way, at noon, Frankie Cardicelli,
Yes.
one of our own from Sactown Sports, he's going to join us
Yep.
first time on the show. No, he's not doing Frankie's Yankee Minute yet, but we'll get there. But he's going to join us to talk Sacramento Kings. But when we hit noon today, it'll be exactly to the second 1 week until the trade deadline.
Yep.
And of course, we are very invested in the trade deadline here from a Sacramento Kings perspective. But the rest of the league is going to be just staring at Giannis and what is going to happen with Giannis, if anything, at the trade deadline. Y'all, we might have to brace ourselves for Giannis being a Golden State Warrior because the Warriors seem to be the
know.
team, the front runner to put together that can't refuse package. Apparently, the San Antonio Spurs don't want him, and I think they're insane for this. We'll get into that in today's show. LeBron James had a bit of an emotional moment last night with the Cleveland Cavaliers showing him some love. Was that his last game in Cleveland? A Jason Williams rookie jersey sold for $140K. Plus, we've been telling you there are legs to this Domantas Sabonis to the Toronto Raptors trade talk. It might be our only real hope at a significant Kings trade happening outside of just some side Keon Ellis deal. So we'll talk, myself, Kayla, and Kyle will try and work together to get a deal done. We'll do that at 1 o'clock. Also very excited for tomorrow on the morning show, the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Sam Amick will be joining them. I'm very interested to hear what Sam has to say.
Usually today, but doing it tomorrow.
Had to push it. So I'm looking forward to that tomorrow, too. So a lot of great stuff coming on Sactown Sports here over the next, not just 4 hours, but over the next 24 hours, and we appreciate you being with us. But, Kayla, yesterday I did a podcast downstairs with Chris Watkins in our brand new podcast studio, and we did a mailbag episode.
Yeah.
And I got a really interesting question from a listener that I answered, but I wanted to hear your guys' answers on this.
Yeah, I'm interested in this.
Because we look at the rookies, we look at Maxime Reynaud, we look at Dylan Carwell, we look at Nick Clifford, and it's like, obviously they're developing. You expect them to take time to learn the NBA game. Can you look at head coaches the same way? Doug Christie, this is his first real head coach job. And he only spent a handful of years as an assistant here in Sacramento before getting this position, right? He hasn't, like Bobby Jackson is a completely different situation, former King, but Bobby spent a ton of time as a developmental coach in Sacramento, went to be on Nick Nurse's staff in Philadelphia, now came back to Sacramento to be one of the lead assistants for Doug. Like Bobby's been in it, also was the coach of the year, the G League coach of the year with the Stockton Kings. So Bobby's been in it. Doug has not been in it that long, but we know how passionate he is about coaching. Can we look at Doug Christie the same way as a developing head coach? And that leads, I think, to a bigger question of, can you be a head coach in the NBA and still be developing? Or do you have to pretty much be like, not completely developed because you always have to adapt, but do you have to be close to like, you know exactly what you are and who you are as a head coach by the time you get to one of 30 NBA jobs on the planet? What do you guys think about that?
It's interesting. There's two different things that I think about when you bring up a question like that. You can look at it in the way that I think everybody should be given an opportunity that has some sort of credentials. And I think Doug's biggest credential is his playing experience. And not just his playing experience, but the way he played the game. And he's very structured and set in what he wants culture-wise. I think it's very important when you are a new coach to have some of those basic building blocks already in mind for then when you do get that job. You might be new, but you have the playing experience. You have kind of the mentality, I would say, of developing into a coach eventually. Now, the problem is if you maybe did that with a team that had some really talented young players from the get-go that were needed to be developed, but were more guys that you could build around immediately, right? Maybe that would be easier and quicker to see what Doug Christie is as a head coach. Unfortunately, he is a new head coach in a crap show situation with mostly veterans who aren't really looking at him for advice or not really wanting to follow, or need to follow what his culture is or what he's trying to build. And then you do have like some of these young guys, but, Nick Clifford, no offense, love Nick, think he'll be a good player, but, 24th overall pick, kind of a guy that's not a build-around necessarily guy, a second rounder in Maxime Reynaud and Dylan Cardwell.
Yeah, rotational guys.
Rotational guys. Yeah. And so it's not like he's been given these gifts right away. He's truly having to actually work too on developing them at every aspect right now. So I think it's hard to say like you can't give him an opportunity because it's the weirdest situation. So I think what I'm trying to say here is you should give young coaches like Doug an opportunity, but ownership and upper management has got to be willing to give them a little time to grow with then this really young squad.
And Kyle, an interesting impact or part of this conversation too is Doug Christie's contract is is built as, you could call it a prove-it contract, but you could also call it a developmental contract. He's one of the lowest paid, if not the lowest paid head coach for these next 2 years, and then the final year is essentially a team option. So he has to earn or prove that he can be a head coach, but also, hey, here are 2 years for you to develop as a head coach, find your way, and maybe find some success too, but success doesn't necessarily have to be just wins and losses.
Yeah, and I think it could be more of a developmental contract than the one that's laid out now, because the short-term aspect of it puts pressure to show results in a short period of time, whatever those results might be, right?
The prove it part.
Yeah, exactly. Versus, for example, Utah, they gave Will Hardy 5 years of runway and then extended him after 3 to 4 years. Dagnall with Oklahoma City, he was given that runway to grow with his players, which is why, to the listener mailbag question, I feel like the second question is more important to answer before you get to the first, because does a coach have to be developed to be in the main chair? I think there's kind of a fine line between being developed or developing and being out of your element type of situation, right? So you look at Mark Dagnall in Oklahoma City. He got the chance to grow with his young core because they were all kind of in the same timeline, but he had also been the G League coach in Oklahoma City, an elite assistant, and all of those things. I look at Jordy in Brooklyn right now, and everyone says Jordy's doing an amazing job, but he has a worse winning percentage than Doug Christie in his tenure as head coach in Brooklyn. But Jordy has proven track record, whether it's working with Jokic, whether it's the winning assistant coach of the year with the Kings, coaching the Canadian national team, all that stuff. Like, Jordy has a proven track record of showing he is a good coach, and you're seeing him grow as a coach with his young players. I'm not saying Doug is out of his element, but he leans more towards the out of his element situation than those other coaches, which makes it feel less like a developmental situation than, say, Jamal Mosley in Orlando or Dagnall in Oklahoma City, Will Hardy in Utah.
Eric Spoelstra at one point in time.
Eric Spoelstra in Miami, and Jordy in Brooklyn. Like, Jordy in Brooklyn has no job security questions despite not winning as many games, but I think part of that is they feel like he is developing on the job and is growing as a coach. I don't necessarily see that same situation in Sacramento.
So let me ask this question then. Would you think Doug Christie at this point would be any different of a head coach in this situation we're talking about, which is a disaster again? Let me reiterate that. Would he be any different of a coach in terms of the developmental stuff if he had been, let's say, 7 years in the league as an assistant at this point, or, on a staff in the last 7 years? You get what I'm saying? Like, do you think he would be still in this same spot, figuring it out as a head coach?
I think no matter what, the Sacramento Kings would be a bad basketball team because of how poorly constructed this roster is, which has been something I've been consistent with when Mike Brown was here. Like, it's just a very poorly constructed team. But I think what would be different with Doug in a better way if he was more experienced is I think the messaging would be clearer. The attention to detail would be clearer with Doug, because Doug says things and then the actions don't necessarily match, or he'll say things that are confusing, or just
he's figuring it out.
Yeah, you feel this element of learning on the fly. And we can go back to the very beginning or early on in the season too, where after a Kings loss, an embarrassing Kings loss, like, he took to the podium hot. And that's when he said, like, I'm Douglas Dale Christie, I'm the head coach of the Sacramento Kings. And then he ripped into that team.
Yeah.
And
I think that was game 12.
Yeah, and he has not been that way since, which makes me think there was probably a conversation that happened like, Doug, for your sanity and for ours, you probably can't be doing that and feeling like that. But I thought that press conference was refreshing because it was nice to see the frustration of the fan base echoed in Doug Christie, who was like, why is this group so abysmal? But I do think there have been some inconsistencies, some moments. There's been some rotational decisions like we talked about in the closing lineup against New York. I'm like, why are we doing this right now? So there's very specific things with Doug that I can be critical about. But I've also, like, full transparency, I've been given no indication or no reason to believe, period, that Doug's job is in any kind of jeopardy. None. Like,
this year.
I would even say...
You would even say next year.
I've been told that, like, Doug and Perry are fine. And I think where the pressure is really going to start for Doug's feeling the pressure no matter what. He talks about his inability to sleep at this point.
I heard that.
But the pressure is really going to be felt next year, but hopefully it's a fun pressure that isn't necessarily tied into wins and losses. It's tied into player development. Because next year, when Doug has hopefully a top 5 pick that he's developing and a roster that's a little more coherent, and we want to see Neek and Max and Dylan taking their next steps, whatever that may be, if Doug's able to do that effectively, then I think Doug sticks around. But if Doug has a hard time developing this group and they're treading water for a year and running around in circles, like we don't see clear improvement from day 1 to game 1 to game 82, that's where I think Doug's job may be in a little bit of jeopardy. But right now, like, the focus should never have been on winning as many games with the veterans. The focus should be on player development. And that's what I think the conversation is it's starting now, and it's going to really be that this summer and going into next off season. But I thought that was a very interesting question from one of those listeners, and I would love to hear everybody else's thoughts on Doug Christie as a head coach and his development too. But we're going to talk about LeBron James, someone who started his career playing against Doug Christie. His very first game, he was guarded by Doug Christie. LeBron returned to Cleveland. They had a little tribute for him. Was that his last game in Cleveland? Should he hang it up, or one more time, LeBron? We'll discuss that coming up next.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and operated. We know what businesses like yours need, from reliable printers to high-performance copiers. We'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
You remember me from a show called And Joe? I'm back on the radio, Sacramento. It's Joe Mami, and when you need your new country fix, join me weekdays from 6A to 10 for the Pat and Cody with Joe show on New Country 105.1 KNCI or on the free KNCI app.
Award-winning guitarist and songwriter Gary Clark Jr. Tour 2026, Saturday, January 31st, 7 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. An electrifying night of music with Gary Clark Jr. Special guest, Marcus King Band. On sale at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Gary Clark Jr. Live.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
There's the hard way to buy a car, and then there's the Hoblet way. Transparent prices, fast paperwork, and a team that's there to help, not hover. We've spent 77 years refining this process so you can get in, get out, and get driving with zero drama. Car buying doesn't have to be stressful. At least, not when you do it the Hoblet way. Experience the difference at HobletDodge.com. The easy way to buy.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
I remember when Kobe Bryant called it quits, and like Kobe was my villain growing up. So I had such a respect for him, and it was so weird to see Kobe go from one of the most hated men in Sacramento to the love and appreciation that he got his last game in Sacramento, and he completely deserved it because of the incredible career that he had. And like Tim Duncan retiring was a big deal, like Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, and these guys that I idolized growing up. But the day LeBron James calls it quits is going to be a very, very interesting, emotional, weird day in the NBA. However, Kayla, I don't think it's going to hit me as hard as the day Steph Curry retires.
Oh, no, it's
not. Because in my mind,
you.
Steph Curry completely, one, changed the game.
Yeah.
And two, as much as I dislike the Golden State Warriors, like I admire the hell out of Steph Curry. But I mean, Steph still got time. And we can see, and we're going to talk about the Golden State Warriors because they're going...
They're trying to maybe do something.
They're going the all list of ins to try and get Giannis to pair up with Steph to open a title window one more time. And boy, I tell you, the evil devil on my shoulder is like, yes, do it. Let's see the chaos. But LeBron James is like the time. If the time hasn't come, it's right there. And he did not play well last night in Cleveland. Did not play well. No. Probably his worst performance, maybe his worst performance ever in that building, truth be told.
I'd say it probably was.
He got a very, very nice tribute video from them highlighting some of his unbelievable moments in Cleveland, his chase down block, the unbelievable performances in the playoffs early on when he was like 22 years old. I think he had a game winner against the Orlando Magic, I want to say. Like just defeating the Detroit Pistons. Like there's so much in that video that you could tell got to LeBron. He got emotional. But this is the first season where I've watched LeBron, and I'm trying to appreciate it as much as possible, but it's also like he's mortal. Like it just looks like LeBron is mortal. He looked old as heck in his post-game press conference. He had a beanie on.
I know,
and there was a
he
little
did.
gray in his beard. I'm like, oh man, LeBron, you're unk. Like you are unk status right now. I don't want LeBron James to retire, but part of me thinks that should have been his last game in Cleveland last night.
I think a lot of people probably thought that, and I think even Cleveland, as a city that he's a proud native of, Akron technically, but played for Cleveland and won a championship there. I think they even as a community are thinking this might be the last time. And, we do the video tribute, and that's a special place. I lived in Ohio for a while and got to, from afar, cover the championship there and got to be in the city for that parade. And, that is a special place. Yeah. It does actually remind me a little of Sacramento fans. Like, they kind of are the... not talked about as much sometimes because they're a smaller market.
Yeah, little brother.
And they always kind of stink in a lot of ways. Not talking about the Cavs in that time, but, we talk about the Browns and all that stuff. But seeing LeBron yesterday break down and kind of have his hands in his palms, and it looked a little different from what I've seen before. And when he was asked about it afterward, he played it off a little. And he said, just sometimes I don't know what's going to spark me. But we all know human nature is human nature. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking maybe it sparked you because you knew that this was going to be the last time that you were in this building as a player.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not. Maybe he takes a pay cut and goes to Cleveland and retires there. There's been players that have done that. Maybe he takes a pay cut and plays one more year in LA. But there's going to have to be something that's probably done for him to continue to play. I think it's a very nice time for him to just hang up the shoes and be like, we're good to go. But then again, he comes out there and he pretty much says, I'm just trying to defeat the father of time. And he's he knows he should retire, but he's too damn competitive. He don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, what is the motivation for continuing to play? It's your love of a game that you just don't want to hang up. It's been your entire life, your entire livelihood. It's almost routine, right? And I thought about this a lot with Tom Brady. Like when Tom retired for the first time, it was like you're walking away from something that has been your life and has been your routine for so long, and obviously that had an effect on him to the point where like, okay, no, I'm coming back. I got to do it at least one more time. Like I miss it too much. And now Tom is in the NFL in both a broadcasting and executive position, and like LeBron is going to follow suit in some capacity. Sure. I don't need LeBron on a broadcast. I personally I roll my eyes when I hear LeBron talk. LeBron is all antics, and there's part of me that's skeptical watching last night going, are those real tears, or is LeBron playing it up for the camera? There's a lot of LeBron that I'm just like, okay, bud, like, relax. But LeBron will always have a life in basketball, a life in the game. I don't know if he's going to try an ownership route like MJ did. I don't think he should try and be a head coach, because I typically think the best players are bad head coaches, because a lot of times they just look at their bench and go, why couldn't you do it? I can do it. Why can't you do it? So LeBron will have a future in the NBA as an ambassador, maybe an owner, some capacity going forward. So it's not like he's just going to ride off into the sunset and disappear necessarily. But I'm trying to think of like what are the motivations? What's the reasoning for you to come back?
Because he's already played with his son, and we knew that was one of the motivations.
That was huge,
right?
The Lakers are a good team, but I wouldn't call them a title contender. And if it is, it's on the back of Luka Doncic.
They're also pushing him out.
True. That's Luka's team. That's Austin Reeves' team more than it's LeBron's team at this point. So the only reason for LeBron to come back, and I do think LeBron is all about LeBron enough to do this, to do a full-on legitimate farewell tour for a year, very similar to what Kobe did, but you're already kind of getting it now. So, like, I don't want LeBron James to retire, because then I have to, like, acknowledge the fact that LeBron is gone and that era is truly over. But I don't see any reason for LeBron to continue. And it's almost where you'd almost rather see them retire when they're still them on their own terms than to see them retire when they know it's over. It's done with.
Yeah. You know, it's also interesting. We saw it with Michael Jordan, and we've seen it with Brett Favre. I also don't want it, though, to be a situation where he's like, okay, I'm going to retire just because I feel like everybody else, and I know this is probably not how LeBron thinks, but it seems like it is the end. I've kind of done my farewell tour. And then he gets bored after a year.
Yeah, don't come back.
And he comes back. Please be smarter to not do that. Because I think that is the worst thing to watch in professional sports, is when some of these big-time people that we know them for all the greatness they had, then they come back and it's a joke.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
There might be also, like, the competitiveness of LeBron James, I think that ship has sailed from the competitiveness of winning a title, which sure, LeBron would love to have another ring and play for another ring. I think that competitiveness has become with Father Time, to where I think LeBron enjoys defeating Father Time.
Proving it wrong.
Enjoys, look, I'm in my 40s and I am still a freak athlete. And the things that LeBron can do are pretty incredible. But this is the first season where, oh my God, look what he's doing. He's 40 years old, has felt forced. In the past, it was like, God, this guy's in his 20th season and he's still doing all this stuff. It's like mesmerized. Now it's like LeBron dunks the ball and you're like, oh my God, he's 40. Yeah. And you're like,
he's a man.
Okay. Like it feels like that ship has sailed to where, hey, man, you don't have to keep proving that you're better than Father Time. We know you're a freak. You're one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT, and we don't need to get into that debate necessarily. We'll save that for the summertime like everybody else does. God. But, like, you are the epitome of what pure athletic, like, dominance looks like. And there's nothing for LeBron to prove, maybe other than to himself, he can walk away.
Yeah. That's it. I think that's all it is. You just checked off everything that he's done, that he can pretty much say, I've accomplished this in this part of my career. I've accomplished this at this age. He's played 42 seasons, like
22.
Or sorry,
40. God. Wow, LeBron's played
Oh my
42
God.
seasons, Kayla.
Jeez
Holy
Louise.
moly.
Played 42 years of
This
basketball.
is where my alliteration with numbers comes into play.
If
Or
LeBron could, he would 100% play 42 seasons.
He would.
He'd
He
play into his
definitely
60s.
would. But he's done all those things. So the only real reason that you would be playing at this point, if this is me as an athlete, would be doing exactly that and saying, I'm 40 or whatever, and I'm going to defeat the everything in terms of we can't defeat Father Time.
Yeah.
Like, that is something that can't be defeated.
You've come as close as anybody can. You and Tom Brady are the closest we've ever gotten.
Check mark. You did it.
Yeah.
LeBron, you did it.
You're
so
a leader.
you got us. But that's the one thing I've talked with athletes that, are at that age. And the one thing they'll say that's the toughest thing about their career is hanging it up because they're afraid of what's next.
Yeah.
And because it's not routine. It's not doing what they do as an athlete. And that's the biggest thing.
It's also their identities.
Yeah.
That's the bigger part is like, I think what's different with LeBron is that this is the first time he's never been the centerpiece of a team in his career, and the next stop he'll go to will kind of be the same situation. But we've seen plenty of guys from Vince Carter playing in Sacramento to Westbrook playing in Sacramento to DeRozan playing in Sacramento. Like, there's plenty of guys that will just keep evolving and adapting their careers because they just don't want it to end. It's their identity.
I have no interest in seeing LeBron as a shell of himself for one more year, just doing victory laps and playing
No, thank
20
you.
minutes. I just don't I don't want to see one of the GOATs not look like that.
Help your body.
Yeah, and he's got an amazing family. He's got a subpar Hollywood career waiting for him. Like,
Yeah,
he's got
right?
plenty of money, plenty of endorsements, plenty of opportunity. NBA talk shows, NBA ownership opportunities, business. Like, he's got so much outside of the game that can keep him hopefully satisfied and grounded. So I think it's time for LeBron. I think last night should have been his last game in Cleveland, but man, it's hard to. We probably already saw LeBron James's last game in Sacramento with the second time the Lakers came through. So I didn't think about that night, and it's a good thing because I would have been even more sad. But when we come back, we'll talk about a retired former King, Jason Williams. Well, apparently his merch still has crazy value because his jersey as a rookie sold for a ridiculous amount of money. We'll tell you what that is and more coming back here on Matt and Kayla Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Right now at Elk Grove Honda, you can lease a 2025 Accord Hybrid Sports Sedan for only $39.99 down, including first payment due at lease inception, excluding tax and license. 35 monthly payments of $299 plus tax, license, and zero security deposit on approved credit. Mileage in excess of $10,000 per year at 20 cents per mile. It really is the least you can do. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 and Elk Grove Boulevard, or on the web at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. And more. Line dancing live DJs, mechanical bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. It's the perfect Valentine's gift. Surprise them with live country music and dancing. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center and Hilton Sacramento. For more info, visit CITPFest.com.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Emran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby insight and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
Matt George, Kyle Anderson. Jeez,
It's contagious, and I think I gave it to you. The putting names together that are different people.
I completely botched.
I'm so sorry, Matt. I gave this.
I botched going to break.
It's cold.
I botched coming back.
Thought you were a TV person, Matt.
I'm bad at this job, huh?
Kyle Anderson.
Matt George, Matt Anderson, Kayla Ledbetter, and Kyle George here on Sports of Sactown.
You kind of said Kyla, too.
Oh, God. Don't ever. I'm not just saying this to you.
Kyla?
Do not ever call me Kyla. If you call me Kyla and I see you out in person, I will literally have to be pulled back. It is not good.
You're doing it
to
again.
say.
You're doing it again. You're giving me. You're putting a big red button in front of me and telling me not to press it. And I.
Well, then call me Kyla.
I don't want to. I'm scared to. I want to know what happens.
Call me Kyla, Matt, and you'll see what happens.
Kayla, hold on. Kyle, can you call her Kyla just to see what happens? You have a glass in front of you.
I mean, based on what she's saying, I don't know if that glass is going to help me.
It's not.
But
No.
that doesn't bother me. I
It's
want to see
not.
what happens.
I've jumped over barbed wire fences.
Huh?
That don't matter.
Well, okay, story time with
Okay, yeah, forget
Kyle,
everything we're talking about. What are you doing? What are you doing jumping over barbed wire fence? Were you in prison?
Yeah, I probably at some point could have been. I would have been good
in a past life.
I would have been good in prison, by the way. I think I would have ran the thing. Like the bosses
You'd be the
there?
pit boss or whatever they
I
call
think
it?
I might have been.
Okay, I have so many questions. Why did you jump over a barbed wire fence? Let's start there.
Okay, short clip notes of this story.
Uh-huh.
Because we'll find out things about each other that we get to
finding
share.
out a lot.
So I was a bit of a troublemaker in high school in my freshman year, particularly.
Oh, boy.
And great in school, by the way. But kind of a pill outside of it.
as we established, 3-9 over here.
Exactly. And so I would go and do parties with, other people from other schools because I got bored of my school. It was a small school.
Wow. Okay, Kayla has friends outside of her bubble. Crazy.
I was like getting bored. I'm like, I'll go party with some other people.
Nice.
So one night in particular, and there are many of these stories, but one night in particular, we went to this huge house out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, she has rich friends.
I don't, but it was somebody who had a rich friend.
I think it's just, middle of nowhere. You own property.
That's true.
Yeah, it was a nice house, but
This is middle of nowhere, Washington.
Right. So we were having a grand time. I mean, big house full of people. Love that. Like a sales meeting. You're meeting new people and, having a good
We
time.
have very different understandings of sales.
There's some beverages involved,
Do we have those at our station?
No.
We have Monsters.
We have water.
And Celsius. So it could have been that. So we're having a good time, music's, but we got a dance floor, and all of a sudden you could hear telephone, cops are here, cops are coming, cops are coming. And all of a sudden it was like a disperse at once.
Scramble.
And we got people going out the doors, people going over the patio. And I remember my friend and I, my best friend Cassie and I, were like, we are making a beeline for just somewhere out in the wilderness. We'll get our car later. So we start running, and we can start to see the popo have they've pretty much lined the long driveway, and they're starting to go into the house, and we're sprinting towards the field. Don't know where we're going. And in front of us is a barbed wire fence. Kid you not. And I proceed, because of my momentum and adrenaline at the time, to hop over the barbed wire fence. And yes, I did rip my arm. Yes, I did. Cassie, my friend, said, "Are you nuts?" She did not obviously have the adrenaline I had. And so she refused to go over it. So we had to end up meeting in a meeting place out in the woods.
So how'd she get out?
She actually went around the barbed wire fence.
You could go around it?
I didn't know, Matt, because my adrenaline was pumping so hard. All I thought in my brain was, get away from the popo. Get away from the popo. Can't get arrested. Can't get this. Can't get that. So this is what I do. I just do things that come to my brain. And I shot over the fence.
This is very 15-year-old logic,
That's
too.
about it.
Because
15.
If
you were 15 years old?
15.
What the hell are you doing at a party at 5th? Well,
okay,
just because, Matt, you weren't invited. Yeah.
Lord of the Rings over here.
Listen.
Dork.
Matt, I would have invited you.
I wouldn't have come.
I would have made
I was
you.
too scared.
Oh, this is very 15-year-old logic brain, because if you're in the wilderness and you're jumping a barbed wire fence, my first instinct is like, oh, it's got like electricity on it. Like it's going to shock you if you jump on it.
No, that was not
like
even
this is
close
probably
to-
for cattle or something.
I have touched an electric fence before. Sucks.
Really?
Yeah.
That
My
I haven't
cousin
done.
used to own a ranch. Didn't know it was electrocuted. Went, I'm going to see the horse.
Like all through your body.
Oh, yeah. Hurt.
Oof. I'm glad it wasn't electric.
Well, yeah, you'll be shocked to know in high school I did not go to any parties because I was scared, and my mom would have beaten the you-know-what out of me. I did not have
smart, Matt.
I did not have my first drink until I was 21.
I didn't say it was anything but Celsius. Now, wait a second here.
Well, I'm questioning adrenaline enough to jump over a barbed wire fence unless you're that afraid of the cops.
I was.
Why?
Well, 'cause
do you have a record? What did you do?
I mean,
you're a 15-year-old. You
Yeah.
think your life is going to be ruined if you get cited by the cops.
and I'm at a party with other people that might be drinking other beverages.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like, what I don't want to be involved in any of that, even though I was.
Have you ever been in a fight?
Yeah.
I need to know this story.
I mean, with my, not a fight where I'm bloodying another girl, but
Oh, boring.
with my brother, I would
that's-
throw all objects.
Yeah, that
at
don't
him.
count. That's just sibling
VCRs,
stuff.
high heel
Huh?
shoes.
You threw a VCR at your brother?
Yeah, we'll have to get him on sometime.
Those things are legit. That's
Yeah.
battery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been in a fight. Shocking.
Oh, we
if
got to
look at
get
me.
you in the ring.
No!
We
Hell-
got to get you in the
Well,
ring.
Matt, all you got to do is just call her by a certain name.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
We could do our own WWE personalities.
I'll die. I have done the closest thing I've ever done to a fight. This is so nerdy. Oh my God, I'm such a loser. How did I get a woman to marry me? The closest thing I've ever done to a fight is
He's laughing before he even says it.
I did stage combat in college.
Oh my. Wait.
Which is dope.
What is
Stage
that?
combat is basically wrestling.
Yeah.
Stage combat is how you learn how to fake fight and
Okay.
how to sell stuff. And I was good as hell at it.
I think that's why I said
I
you
learned-
could do WWE.
I learned how to this is not a joke. I learned how to fall down a flight of stairs.
No, I don't. I think that's cool.
Yeah, my mom did not like me taking that class because my back, it was like bruised.
Your mom is also going to be like, get off this show with this maniac.
My mom's on a cruise right now. She don't care.
This woman is a maniac.
My mom's in international waters right now, so she ain't
Good
listening.
for her.
She apparently has pneumonia on a cruise ship. Which
That's not good for her.
sounds
That's
miserable.
not good for
It's
her.
like, sorry, Mom. Well,
also, in fairness, Kayla, like you were 15, so that was what, like 10 years ago? 12 years ago?
Kyle, you're so.
Oh, please
look at
keep,
Kyle
please
buttering
keep
me
going,
up.
Kyle. No, he's doing a bit. Keep going, Kyle. Let's see how long you last.
What do you mean?
You're going to call me Kyle at some point?
No, I'm just wondering how long, because he's
10 years ago.
No, I was just
Yeah.
wondering because he started at 10, then he went to 12. I was just wondering how
Oh,
long,
yeah.
how
Are
much
you
he's
gonna
going to keep going.
You better
I,
stop.
I think I'm right.
You better.
About 12, something like that.
I'll take 12.
All right, we're cutting that.
No.
Oh, God.
Wow. Well, hey. All right. Well, when Kayla was 15, she jumped over a barbed wire fence to escape police officers.
Oh, God.
When I was 15.
The Kings should get arrested for this season.
Oh, good segue. When I was 15, I got. Great segue, Matt. I
We need
played-
a great segue, Kayla sound.
Do you know
I
what a
know.
LAN party is? Do you know what that is? A LAN party?
No.
Sounds like something like in the 1800s, like when you purchased.
No, LAN, L-A-N, a LAN party. What do you think LAN stands for? This is what I did in high school.
Lions at
night. Yeah.
What?
Welcome to Lions at Night.
The Kings?
No, it's some sort of D&D like version of
it's
that.
Close. I didn't get into D&D until
live action.
Close, but no.
Any cloaks and daggers?
It's no, but I did not get into D&D until
I'm
college.
such a
loser. How did I get a woman to marry me? Great. That's going to be, I still don't know. One of these days, I'll tell you guys the story of, I don't know how I got my wife to finally date me.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
But
one of these days.
No, LAN stands for Local Area Network. And what this is you go over to your friend's house and you bring your PlayStation or Xbox or console of choice and a television. And you all sit in a room, okay? And you set up your gaming system and you all play games together in the same room on the same connection. This is what virgins did in high school. And we had a great time. I remember when there's a game called Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Skyrim. I camped outside of a GameStop with my friends overnight to get the game at midnight, went over to their house, and we played it until like 6 o'clock in the morning. These are my favorite memories. I'm not running from the cops and jumping over a fence. I think I had it better.
Well, maybe you did, but I invite you to come into my role, and then I'll go into your role.
No. I'm not jumping over a barbed wire fence. I'm not surviving. I'm not making it past there. I'm the idiot that's stuck on it, and the cop's like, all right, kid.
We didn't clarify if that's her fondest memory of high school. It's just a thing that happened.
That's like one of 18 stories.
Well, you're derailing the whole show because now I want to know the other 17 stories.
Well, once a week, I'll share a story. And for the people that are listening, we are still, what you got to understand about this show is we are still getting to know each other. Matt and I specifically did not know each other.
Yeah, at all.
Before
we had
started
never
this.
met until a week before the first show.
Right. And Kyle, he knew both of us a little bit, but not very well.
Yeah.
And so this is organically just us getting to know each other. We're sorry. We
Kayla,
probably took this off the rails, guys.
You
we'll
never
get
would have
back
talked to me
sports.
in high school. You never would have talked to me in high
No, that
school.
is not true. I actually was the one that was friends with every single group.
Oh, popular.
No, I wasn't.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not like the top tier. I was not cool enough for that.
Stay in your lane. How about that? Huh? Stay in your lane.
There's a distinct difference. It's not having enough friends,
Pick a
so
team.
therefore you dance around everyone.
Pick a team. Huh?
That's exactly.
Stay in your lane. All right.
I couldn't. I'd get bored.
I ate lunch on the theater steps.
Oh, I've done that before. I ate lunch with the theater people one time.
Theater's great. Theater was a ton of fun. There's crazy stuff
fun.
that happens in theater too. Oh my God, I'm such a loser. How did I get a woman to marry me? I did not participate I did not participate in the crazy stuff that happens in theater. But at Wood Creek High School in Roseville, there is trust me, theater kids get crazy. There's a brick.
They do.
There, Kyle knows. They're in the theater at Wood Creek High School in Roseville. When you're a senior after doing theater, you get to paint a brick. So there's a brick in the theater that it's painted by me. Anyway, Jason Williams, a rookie Jason Williams jersey sold for $140,000. That's what you tune into the segment for. That's what you get. We'll talk about that a little bit more at some point. I just want to know all of Kayla's crazy stories from high school, and we'll get to those over time. But we do have to talk to start the 11 o'clock hour. We got to talk about Giannis because Giannis trade watch is all over the place, and I don't know if we want him to be a Golden State Warrior, but that seems like the most likely scenario at this point in time. We'll discuss that and more on Matt and Kayla coming up next.
This is Bill Cartwright. Join us Thursday, February 5th at the Golden One Center for the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration.
When your check engine light comes on, do you see a repair bill or do you see peace of mind? For 20 years, CarShield's been the name America trusts to help keep you on the road. While other companies stop covering you when your car gets older, CarShield offers protection plans up to 200,000 miles. With over $1 billion in claims paid, we don't just promise protection, we deliver it. Don't let a breakdown break your budget. Get the flexible month-to-month coverage you deserve. Go to CarShield.com. That's CarShield.com today.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Brian's headed to the basketball court, but he's sick of this check engine light. So he goes to AutoZone for the free Fix Finder service.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
where a friendly AutoZoner reads the light in just a few minutes and gives him a detailed report.
No big, just a loose gas cap.
And gets him to the court with a tight gas cap and tighter defense. The free Fix Finder service at AutoZone. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hi, Flo here from Progressive. You know, life changes quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, you mean like adding another vehicle?
Yes, that's something we can do.
Great, because I was thinking about getting a van so we could just keep the kids' softball stuff in the car.
Oh, we don't need to get into specifics. Just saying it's easy to change.
Oh, and Hannah wants to try the tuba.
Again, we don't need the specifics.
Last year, she wanted to be a tap dancer, but that only lasted 2 lessons.
Okay.
But she kept the shoes because they are adorable.
Well, just know that with Progressive, you can easily add another car to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This year's tax changes. Better not get caught snoozing. Miss one deduction, lose thousands. Not amusing.
Big tax changes can mean bigger refunds at Jackson Hewitt. And right now, get $100 just to try us.
Don't worry, tax filers. If money is tight, get $100 from Jackson Hewitt, so you'll sleep better at night.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hey, movie fans, Marty Supreme is playing at the Esquire IMAX Theater. See it the way it was meant to be seen on the 6-story IMAX screen. Feel every twist and turn crashing all around you, where every seat is always the best seat in the house.
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box. You think it's that simple? Yeah, I do.
Don't wait. Get reserved seats for Marty Supreme at Sacramento's biggest and loudest movie-going experience, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 916-619-3000 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
KHD 1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
From the 916 on the text line, Halo parties on the Xbox. Yeah. Now you're speaking my language. Man, Halo 1, Halo 2, getting together, playing those games till late in the morning or early in the morning, eating pizza and
Mountain
sodas.
Dew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the stereotype is real. Those are some
like
truly,
the leaders.
Oh, yeah. A liter each.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Totally some of my best memories.
A lot of kids do that now.
Those are the days. Like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2 in college and in high school. Man, the good old days.
Mm-hmm.
The good old days. Times were simpler. Times were simpler. It's funny. My wife and I have a joke because we met in college, and it was like when you're in college and you're doing your papers and all this stuff and finals and stuff, you're like, how could life ever be worse? How could life ever be more chaotic? This is nuts. Now, and then you're an adult and you're out of college for 10 years and you think back and like, I lived with my friends, saw my friends all the time, had like meals prepared all the time at a cafeteria. Freaking the dream. And I had to write a paper every once in a while. Oh, boo-hoo.
Yeah.
The dream.
By the way, my sister-in-law, she's great, Emily. She texts me.
Uh-huh.
She says, my brother had LAN parties.
Let's go, Emily.
Yeah.
Emily's brother.
Yeah. And she is a big Harry Potter fan. And likes Lord of the Rings. Yeah, so
love her.
Believe me.
Love her.
I know you like Harry Potter.
There's people out there.
I love your sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Is that weird to say? Can I say that?
Absolutely.
Is it too soon?
No.
Well, I do.
See?
I do. But I'm married. Sorry. Off
She
the
is
market.
too, to my brother.
Ah.
Yeah, to my brother.
Well, oh my God, I'm such a loser. How did I get a woman to marry me? Yeah, that's gonna be It's going to be there for eternity. Well, y'all, this Giannis Antetokounmpo situation, it's really kicking off. It's really kicking off.
segue,
and Matt, I am a very, very eager and also terrified bystander, Kayla, because that man is going to end up somewhere, and it feels like it's going to be out west, and I'm not ready. But from a Kings standpoint, I guess it doesn't matter that much because the Kings are entering a rebuild, but the Western Conference is already brutal enough, and Giannis should hopefully stay out east. According to Shams, Giannis, he still hasn't demanded a trade, but he told the Bucks it's time to move on.
Say it.
Yeah, so he's doing everything to demand without demanding a trade. Before we talk about the Warriors, because the Warriors are really preparing this like treasure trove of picks trade to bring Giannis to Golden State, and it makes perfect sense for them to do it. And we'll dive into that in just a second. But I have been very, very consistent with, I believe San Antonio has the best opportunity to make the best package, could and should go all in, and it would have an immediate benefit for them. Well, apparently, according to Tim McMahon, the Spurs are not interested in trading for Giannis because he is not part of the Victor Wembanyama timeline.
I've been told by folks with the Spurs, we're not a home for Giannis. And there's been a lot of smoke around that, like going back to the summer. But everything in San Antonio is about the Wemby timeline. And this is a decade past the Wemby timeline when you bring in Giannis at his age.
So I hear that. I get that from the standpoint of, yes, you're not going to have Giannis and Wemby together for the next 8 years like Shaq and Kobe. But this is insane to me. You can offer better than anyone else. You can make sure, well, other than the Thunder, you can make sure this deal gets done. And if you're bringing, I'm convinced of this, if you bring Giannis in this year, you're winning a title either this year or next year. You're winning at least a title in the next 2 years, unless, knock on wood, someone is hurt, which Giannis has been battling some stuff. Victor Wembanyama has been on and off the court. And I understand Wemby's timeline, and I'm not trying to be morbid here. But typically when you have these lanky centers, things can happen that can derail lanky centers' careers really quickly. If there's any injury to the waist and below, that could completely derail. And I'm hoping that's not the case because I want Wemby to play forever because I'm mesmerized by him. But the window is open now. You don't have to, like, you can trade picks and one of your 3 point guards and Sohan or whatever and filler to get this done now and immediately put yourself in true title favorite position for at least the next couple of years, and then you re-sign Giannis, and now it's years to come. I would 100% do it if I were the San Antonio Spurs. I guess I get their logic, but I would not do it. Or I would do it.
Yeah, it's a little surprising just because this is such a sweepstakes, right? And there are so many teams that have the ability to go and contend this year or go and contend next year that are in the mix right now for Giannis. And the logical explanation of where you could go, and we've laid this out on the show like you did yesterday, is San Antonio for many reasons. The one thing that I wonder, though, two things actually, is the one thing is they say it's not the timeline. And that I don't necessarily buy either. We're not talking about Giannis is 80 years old or on the LeBron tour.
Sure.
Like, Giannis is young enough right
He's in his
now.
prime.
Yeah, to win a title with Wembanyama. Like, that's okay if you're looking at it in the next 5 years, which you should be right now if you're San Antonio. You are younger, yes, but you also could really increase your chances to win a title now in the next few years. So I don't really get that part of it, but it does make me wonder, do they feel like it would mess with their culture right now? They're younger, like, we're doing it our way. We don't need the Giannis piece. Like, we're going to do it the way we're going to do it. We don't want any, outside incoming with the Giannis hoopla. I'm looking at it from that aspect of, like, they want to really accomplish it the way they want to accomplish it. Or does Giannis pretty much, have a ton of say in this, which I think he has some, and Giannis is just like, I'm not going there?
Well, maybe there's the fear of Giannis won't re-sign, so you're just doing this for 2 years until his contract runs out, and then he goes and goes elsewhere, and you've traded 3 or 4 first-round picks to bring him in for only a couple of years. But again, if he's here, if he's there for a couple of years, I think they're winning a title at least one of those next 2 years.
And you'd think he'd see that.
I think he would as well. And from the Spurs standpoint, if there's an inkling of maybe it could turn into drama of whose team is it, Wemby's or Giannis's, and that matters to them, and that could cause a rift or something like that. To me, it would have to be like I would have to be so sure that would be a problem that I'm not considering doing this. Mm-hmm. And this could also be the Spurs are like, oh, we're not interested, so the price goes down a little bit or whatever. They can act all smug and then
play in the game,
swoop in at the last minute. But like from our YouTube chat line from Hooper fans, he says, Matt, Giannis is not a guarantee to a championship ring. That's false. Giannis himself is not. But if you put Giannis and Victor Wembanyama in a front court together, it's 2 of the most unstoppable players in the league, period. Like, there is no guarding Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's just getting in his way and hoping that he'll shoot threes. But Giannis can get downhill. Well, won't the clog be packed? No, because Victor Wembanyama can shoot from anywhere on the floor. He's a freak. You have the 2 biggest freaks in the league playing together. You are not stopping them. Defensively, they are a nightmare to deal with as well. Victor Wembanyama can protect the rim. Giannis is a big body that can play defense when he wants to. Oh, not to mention, you're not trading all 3 of your guards. At the worst, you're trading 2 of them, but I probably think you only have to trade 1. So you're either keeping Stephon Castle around, who's a defensive menace right now. Stephon Castle is one of the best on-ball defensive guards in the league, period, and he's just in his 2nd year. Dylan Harper's a rookie and has this tremendous amount of upside. I think Dylan Harper would be the one that the Spurs would probably try and move on from. Oh, yeah, and you have this guy named De'Aaron Fox, who was the clutch player of the year a couple of years ago.
Don't forget about him.
And if De'Aaron Fox is your 3rd option offensively, like,
okay, cool,
you're in Valhalla.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
But that's what I wonder. I wonder, like, are they afraid that messes up what they have going right now?
But what they have going right now is a team that, like, is still trying to catch the Thunder. Like, they made it all the way to the NBA Cup final, and good for them, and that's important. Mm-hmm. And they've beaten the Thunder a couple of times this season, which leads us to hoping that we get a Thunder-Spurs playoff series. But until otherwise, I'm expecting the Thunder to win that playoff series. The Spurs definitely have a chance, but are the Spurs the title favorite, not just in the West? Are they the title favorite in the league right now?
And they would be if they probably.
Exactly.
Well, they would be.
The answer is no. They bring Giannis in and plug him into that group. It's 100% a yes for me. Yeah. So if I'm the San Antonio Spurs, I'm going for it, and nobody will blame you if you take that swing. And I think you're winning at least a title in the next 2 years.
The report, though, sounded to me like, again, it was like, no, we're not. Like, you would think if they would even consider it, unless they're playing a game, like you said, to say, hey, whoa, we're not interested, but really we are.
Yeah.
To me, it just seemed like so we're not at all. Like, that's a team that can compete, and it's
good.
Wemby.
We're good. Well, then
don't understand. Or not Wemby. It's Antetokounmpo. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah, and there could be that feeling that Giannis would not be happy there. And if that's the case, then I understand this.
Yeah.
But also, like, you're in this game to win titles.
So he's going to be happy in Golden State.
So you better find a way to win titles in San Antonio. If you're not going for Giannis because of this Wemby timeline, you better find ways to win titles with Wemby enough to keep him around, because what's going to stop Wemby from in a handful of years going, I'm taking the bag, I'm going to LA,
Especially
I'm going to Miami. Exactly. Like, this is your chance to get it done.
I do kind of understand, though, from the Spurs standpoint, that they're kind of where OKC was a couple years ago, where the window is just opening.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I understand if they're looking at it and saying, we need more time with this group to decide. Okay. I'd have to look it up again, but I know De'Aaron Fox and Wemby hadn't played a minute with each other until like November. So I think they're kind of saying, like, we still need to see how this group is going to work, and maybe we don't need to make any changes. Maybe Fox, Wemby, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes. Like, maybe this group with a couple of tweaks is good enough to win a championship right now.
They seem to think so.
Year. And maybe the Spurs think too, hey, wherever Giannis goes, unless it's New York, he's not going to re-sign, so there's going to be a chance to get him in free agency in a year or two. So maybe we can revisit it then. But it's not often that a generational freak of nature superstar is available. Mm-hmm. And you are the team in the prime position to offer the best package, and you'll bring him in.
And they're like,
you'll bring him in, and you will be immediately in the. This is not like, oh, Kawhi and Paul George together with the Clippers. Like, they should be good. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about two of the weirdest freak of nature athletes on the planet.
But does that work? Does that work with two freak of nature's ball dominant? Like, does that work?
Only way to know is to try. But again, I'm trying to think, like, what's the concern that there's only one basketball and there's two of them and they have to share? No, like Wemby can shoot and score from anywhere, and no one is stopping Giannis when he gets downhill. I've seen it in person. There's nothing you could do. You could put a semi truck in front of the dude.
You were talking about watching Giannis in person.
He's one of my favorite.
Incredible.
He gets down the court in 6 steps.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing you can do to stop that man when he is in that mode.
They also might be the 2 best defensive players in the league.
Yes. You're not scoring. You want to come in the paint? Come on in.
I will say the skill sets are a little redundant, so it might mess up the defensive spacing because someone's going to have to play on the. All you have to do is just space them out.
But Wemby can play on the perimeter. We've seen Wemby defend on the perimeter because he's 8 feet long. He'll just block everything if you try and shoot over the top.
He just puts his wingspan.
Yes. And if you get past Wemby, Giannis is there to meet you. If you get past Giannis, Wemby is there to meet you. Oh, yeah, you also have De'Aaron Fox who's guarding you, and when Fox wants to be, he's a pest on-ball defender. Like that, you're not scoring on that team consistently.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see how it looks. But San Antonio doesn't want it.
I think these are also the competing wisdoms of the NBA now. Like in the old days, it would have been like, Brooklyn saying, we'll trade every pick in our bank to get James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving together. Yeah. But in this day and age, it's like OKC could make any of these moves, and they've decided our group of 10 guys is fine. And when some of those guys become too expensive, we'll use the picks to just draft their replacements. Right. Or Indiana going 10 deep. The Cavs are the old model of we're just going to get 4 great guys and see how it goes, and they haven't been as good this year.
Sure.
Are we worried really quick? And I did see TR bring this up, and I talked to you about this yesterday. I don't know if it was off air. I can't remember. Are we worried at all, truthfully, about Giannis and maybe the more injuries that have popped up lately?
Especially
the calf injuries.
I think that is a very fair concern.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if the Spurs are like, we are concerned about his medicals, we don't want to take that risk, then that's a logical reason. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying, like, I would still take this risk because it's freaking Giannis. I would take the risk because I'm trying to win a title.
Yeah.
Like you brought up the OKC example, Kyle, and you're right, but OKC has found and built a team that is perfectly, they perfectly fit together. They all know their role and they do it brilliantly. And that is extremely difficult to do. And because of the apron system, it's very, very shortly OKC is going to run into the problem where they can't keep the team together because they can't pay everybody. They caught lightning in a bottle.
And the thing that gets not talked about is that the reason this OKC thing is allowed to exist is because Shea makes the same amount as Sabonis, right? The best player in the league is the best value contract in the league.
That's a good point.
And like T3 and D here in the chat, KD, Booker, and Beal didn't work. Durant, Harden, and Kyrie did not work. We're not talking, we're talking different, like credit to all those players. We're not talking about the same stratosphere. Like KD is the guy in all of those players. KD is the guy that's on that freak of nature because he's as big and tall and long as he is, but he's unbelievably skilled as a shooter and can score anywhere on the floor and is an unguardable.
Yep.
Like none of those guys. Like Devin Booker, great player. Bradley Beal, that's not even a conversation because Bradley Beal is a walking injury. Like Wemby and Giannis together is one of the most terrifyingly what do you do with that duo period we've ever seen. Like we're talking about the development of the game or how the game has changed and these freak athletes that have come in and changed. It's like prime LeBron. And when LeBron, Wade, and Bosh teamed up in Miami, that worked wonderfully because you got 3 stars in their prime. Like, this is what we're talking about here with Wemby and Giannis.
And Fox.
I don't know. And Fox, too.
And Fox.
I don't know how you stop it. I just don't know how you stop it. So if I were the Spurs, I'd go for it. But if they don't feel that way, then they better win a title in the next 4 years.
We'll see what happens and where Giannis goes and what that then looks like.
Yeah, if they think they're too good for Giannis and he goes to the Warriors and 2 years from now, Steph and Giannis are meeting the Spurs and Wemby and Fox in the Western Conference Finals and the Spurs lose?
There's the storyline.
Ruh-roh.
There's the storyline that will give and give and give.
Well, I think there is a flip side to that too, which is like, okay, so the Spurs right now are the 2 seed in the West. And granted, Jokic hasn't been playing for the Nuggets, so the Nuggets are probably right in the mix at the top there. But like, the Spurs are only trailing the Thunder, and they beat the Thunder like 3 times already this year. So if you're San Antonio and you're this group, and I'm not saying the front office has to think this way, but this group probably believes they could win a title this year. Now, we've watched enough NBA basketball to know that's not usually how it goes. You have to do some losing before you supplant the champion.
And look, if they do it, all credit to them, and I'll happily say that I'm wrong. But
you should put that on a post-it,
yeah,
by the way.
I will put that on a post-it during the commercial break. But to me, like, yeah, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you're in the driver's seat to win a title by doing this.
I'm curious then, whatever the circumstances are, if they're not interested, right? I truly am interested then. I think Giannis really only wants to go to
New York.
I really do.
But this whole Golden State thing that we'll talk about is confusing to me too, because it's like, not only is it opposite sides of the country of where I feel like really wants to be, I feel like it is more of like, do it right now. Right.
Like, and yes, Wemby's in his prime. I keep saying Wemby. Giannis is in his prime, but like Steph is like kind of getting almost past that.
Oh,
like,
yeah, he's
there's
sunsetting.
not a lot of time in Golden State.
Well, what we talked about yesterday is whether it's the Spurs, the Thunder, the Warriors, whoever, if you're the Bucks, you take the best offer that you can possibly get that sets you up for the future to not find another Giannis, because I don't know if you're ever going to do that again, but open a different window of success for your organization in the future.
Sure.
Right? And that might be what the Golden State Warriors are offering here. The Golden State Warriors sound like the leader in the clubhouse in terms of that offer that you cannot refuse. Because the New York Knicks, we know the Knicks want Giannis, and Giannis wants to go to the Knicks.
Yeah.
But the Knicks can't offer what the Golden State Warriors are allegedly willing to put on the table, which, according to reports, I lost my internet connection, so it's gone. I will find it in just a second.
It's like 4 first-round picks and 3 pick swaps.
Well, that's the thing. The pick swaps is where it's different, because the pick swaps require Milwaukee to have their picks, and Milwaukee doesn't have a lot of their picks because of trades that they've made in the past. So in reality, it's only 4 of their first rounders and like 1 pick swap is essentially
no players
right now.
Involved? This is all picks.
Oh no, they would have to do players like Jimmy Butler would have to be
Okay,
moved because of the money to make the money work.
Yep.
They would probably ask for Kuminga.
Yeah, Kuminga's which if you're the
Kuminga.
Warriors, duh. Like, of course.
Yeah, get him out of here.
It would be any young players that have a chance of promise and all the picks.
Yeah. So, and that's where we're talking. The Warriors are going completely all in for Steph, which, like, they're talking about trading picks that go into 2032, 2030.
Jeez,
by the time these picks are conveying, Steph and maybe Giannis are long gone. So those picks are extremely valuable to Milwaukee, because the Warriors are probably at the end of the Steph era. They've won maybe another title, and they are starting to rebuild. And yes, their future is in shambles, but they've gone all in for Steph, which is what they should do.
And that has been the narrative the entire time. It's never changed.
He is the icon of your franchise. He's only played for you. He's the greatest shooter of all time. You get him with Giannis, the title window is suddenly opened again. You got one last ride.
Yep.
It makes perfect sense for the Warriors to do this, as much as I would hate it. And if you're Milwaukee, again, that 2030 and 2032 first rounders that you're getting in this situation, those are extremely valuable, because by that time, the Warriors dynasty is over and they're starting to rebuild. By that time, we're talking about Steph Curry's Hall of Fame speech and the statues that are being built outside of the Chase Center. If we're being real. So
how many do you think he's got, like 5 left?
Years? Oh boy. I mean,
Steph's 38 right now.
Yeah, no, I'd say 2 to 3. 3 max.
I don't his game, he's 30, so he's about to turn 38.
Because like you said, go on about his game, because I'm thinking the same thing.
With Steph, his game will age relatively gracefully. Like, obviously he's got injury issues, but it's not like he's down there banging bodies all the time and physically falling apart. Like, I think he could play into his 40s if he wanted to, but
he's a little different from LeBron's mentality, though, I think. Like, they're both ultra competitive.
Yeah.
But I think, like, Steph is cool enough to be like, I know where I'm at. I'm making movies now. Like,
right.
You know.
Like, Steph can shoot forever. But so much of Steph's game has been running all over the court and making someone chase you and running off of a Draymond Green illegal screen, but it is he gets away with it. and getting open. And like, I'm not worried about Steph not being able to shoot when he's 45, because there are going to be those videos of Steph Curry walking into the Chase Center when he's 60 and shooting a half-court shot and making it, because it's just Steph. Mm-hmm. But I'm worried about how long is Steph going to be able to sprint to the corner and shoot this ridiculous off-balance three that he makes, that he's made a career out of making. How long can he do that before like the wheels start to fall off a little bit? Yeah. And he's going to hit that wall at some point. And also, again, knock on wood, not to be morbid, Steph started his career with a litany of ankle injuries. Like, he was injured all the time when he was in the early stages of his career. What happens if one of those comes back? I'm just like, you got to maximize and open the window now. Giannis does that for you if you're Golden State.
And the other part, Kayla, that's really interesting, and this goes back to all the Kuminga stuff this summer, is like, the Warriors have not gone all in for Curry. They've refused to trade the picks for this exact trade. Their entire mindset for 2 years has been, it's Giannis or it's nobody. And that's the way they've been constructing their organization. Also, if they trade for Giannis and Giannis is like, oh, I'm not thrilled, but I'm going to have to go, Giannis is a free agent in 2027. Steph is a free agent in 2027. Draymond's a free agent in 2027. Steve Kerr's contract is up at that point. Like, they got 2 years to win this thing.
This is the all-in. This is it. This is the last best chance you're ever going to have to open a title window with Steph, unless somehow they sneak in a random title year like they had against Boston a handful of years ago again. But that was so out of the blue that how many times can you catch lightning in a bottle, right? And I think they're aware of this. This is what they signed Kuminga to that contract for. This is what they kept all those picks around for. This is it. And from the YouTube text line or chat here, Z4, I guess Zarxis, he says, they're going all in so they can be irrelevant for the next 8 years after Steph retires. Yes, because during those 8 years when they're irrelevant, all they're going to be thinking of is the dynasty that they built and giving Steph one last try. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but nobody in their right mind can blame them for that. If I'm a Golden State Warriors fan, I'm thinking, this is the last. Will we ever find a Steph Curry again? Probably not. You still got him, and he still can win you something, and now you compare him with Giannis and go for one last swing. And if Giannis is with the Golden State Warriors, I'm not putting them ahead of the Thunder necessarily, but they're in the mix.
It wouldn't be every team's plan by any means, but because you have that one piece with Steph.
Yes.
That's what they've dedicated their whole plan to.
Yeah, Kings fans.
I get it. I don't love it, but I get it.
Kings fans, if Steph is here in Sacramento, we're calling for this. This is exactly what we're asking for, and we're saying future and picks be damned. And there's always chances to acquire picks in the future too. So I think the Warriors are right to go all in with this, and I still think the Spurs should as well. But you want to share your thoughts on this, you can. 916-339-1140, 800-920-1140. We're going to switch back to the Kings, talking about, are they in the worst situation in the league right now? We'll dive into that. Plus, we do have to talk about this Jason Williams rookie jersey selling for $140,000. That's coming up next. Matt Kayla, Sactown Sports.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now, the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Plus, get free home delivery on most beds with base. Limited time. For JD Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at a Sleep Number store today.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
sports.
You remember me from a show called And Joe? I'm back on the radio, Sacramento. It's Joe Mommy, and when you need your new country fix, join me weekdays from 6A to 10 for the Pat and Cody with Joe show on New Country 105.1 KNCI or on the free KNCI app.
The other guys must think you failed math. Get this huge discount. Then the fine print hits you with $5,200 in mandatory ads. It's adorable in a scammy kind of way. At Hoblet, we skip the tricks. The price you see is the price you actually pay. What a wild concept, huh? Hoblet, family owned 77 years. Experience the difference online at hobletdodge.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Apparently some people are confused in the YouTube chat, so let me clarify. I'm not saying, when I say if Steph were in Sacramento, I'm not saying bring Steph Curry to Sacramento. I'm saying if Steph Curry spent his entire career with the Kings the same way he has with the Warriors and had that success, and we here in Sacramento had the opportunity to open one more title window for Steph, we should all want that, even at the cost of 4 first-round picks. From every Warrior fan I've talked to, and if you are a Warrior fan and you disagree, feel free to call in or text in and tell us why. But every Warrior fan that I talk to is like, yes, this is it. This is the move. One more chance, one more dance. We will sell the future to give Steph that last chance because what we feel we owe it to Steph as the greatest Golden State Warrior to ever live. So that's what I'm saying. If Steph were...
That's what I took it as.
If it was a Kings situation, we'd be doing the same thing. Sure. If Chris Webber had the career, if it was the 2002 team and they won multiple titles or whatever, it's like, yes, give him one last chance.
That's your guy, especially in Sacramento because you've had so many players that they've parted ways with, and then you're like, what?
By the way,
just happened?
Steph Curry has had 10 times the NBA career of Chris Webber,
Correct.
by the way.
So you're saying had the Kings drafted Luka, and then Luka had the career that he had,
just threw something
then
at
maybe.
Kyle.
Double down, baby, I'm a double down.
He's trying to block the glass or break the glass.
Way to kill the mood. Way to kill. Well, we'll continue with the killed mood because, by the way, another aspect of that, the Giannis conversation is something that Sam Amick shared. And again, Sam Amick is going to join the morning show, Carmichael David, Jason Ross, tomorrow morning. He normally joins on Thursdays. He kicked it to Friday this week. So I'm very much looking forward to that conversation. But one of the things that Sam reported was that like Karl Anthony Towns still has hard feelings about the Knicks trying to trade him for Giannis. Sorry, bud. Believe it or not, Kat, you are not even close to the player that Giannis is. Sorry, guy. Like, you have hard feelings. Don't blame you. I do understand you got to play politics a little bit too. And if the Knicks aren't able to get Giannis, and now they've pissed off Karl Anthony Towns, of course they got to think about that. But, Kat, look in the mirror, pal. Like, you ain't Giannis. Even if you believe you are, you ain't. No. And if the Knicks can trade you and bring Giannis in, I think even you should be able to understand. As competitive as you are, you should be able to understand, yeah, that might be a pretty smart move for them.
It would be. But, something tells me that Kat would do his little bits and throw little fits.
Yeah.
Because that's Kat.
That's Kat. I posted the GIF and I just put Kat when the Kings were playing the Knicks. I posted the GIF of those inflatable tube things. That
the arms
that just kind of go like this and just flail all over the place. Uh-huh. That was Kat against the Kings. Kat takes contact and goes, hey!
Pretty much.
Well, it works for him.
Mm-hmm. Might be one of my least favorite players in the league.
Well, he doesn't like anybody.
He's incredibly skilled, man, but now you're starting to beef with my boy Mike Brown. You're the problem, not Mike.
He's trying to take Mike under.
I'll tell you what. You give Mike Brown, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Matt's gonna call you, and he's gonna get mad.
Ooh, Mike and Giannis together in New York.
That'd be interesting.
I'd be interested, and it's not out west, so I'd be a fan of that too. But the Sacramento Kings are out west, guys, and it's hard.
Great segue, Matt.
It's hard to argue that there is a team right now, currently, in a worse position than the Sacramento Kings. The one argument that I would have is the New Orleans Pelicans in the sense that they traded their – so I won't go too deep because I want to hear your thoughts on this, but they traded their draft pick this year. They don't have their draft pick this year, and they're one of the worst teams in the league. But they do have some young, promising talent on that team, and they have pieces that for trade that teams really, really want, Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. So there's an argument to be made that the Kings, as they stand right now, are in a worse position than the Pelicans because of that. But you feel that it is the Pelicans.
First of all, and this is kind of a joke, but I had to start it with this. First of all, anybody who has a mascot that looks like it can murder you in the King Cake Baby,
the Smoothie Baby King
like that's
thing.
Already a big loss for me. Like I don't want to be anywhere around that or see that in any of in a vicinity at all. That thing is just terrifying. In all seriousness, no, I think they traded their unprotected first round for 2026 and brought in Queen, right? Am I right with this?
I'm sorry. Queen.
Wait.
Yes, Derek Queen.
Derek Queen. Yes. Yeah, I was like, wait a second.
I was thinking
like,
Smoothie King Baby. I was like,
yeah,
I
you're
didn't
like
get
on
past
another
that.
level. So
you put some respect on King Baby Cake's name.
I do
There's
not
no
like
respect.
King Baby Cakes.
That thing eats children.
That thing looks like Chucky, but like the King Baby doll. Like weird. Like just weird. Anyway, so that I think they were getting a little bit of heat for.
Yeah.
And then with the front office, I think there's similarities in what has happened there recently with the old regime, and now the new regime is taking over and trying to do stuff differently.
Joe Dumars.
Yeah, but I don't know if they really are doing stuff different because Zion Williamson is still there.
Yep.
And we all know that Zion is probably like done what he can do, which is not a lot and not been available for many seasons.
Yeah.
And it still seems like they're not willing to just get him gone. So they're in kind of a waiting situation with, are they going to try to do something with Zion at some point? Because without him gone, I don't think you can clearly fully rebuild for the future. So I feel like they're in kind of not a same situation, but the ownership is weird right now in terms of, are they being stubborn? Are they trying to hold on to Zion to make something work, even though it's clear it's not working?
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a lowly franchise that doesn't have many fans, and at least Sacramento can say, when we're down in the dumps, we actually still have a great fan base that comes and watches the games. I have been in that arena.
They don't care.
It's pathetic.
They don't care.
Sorry if you're a Pelicans fan, but it's pathetic. So I can't even imagine the worst part of the New Orleans Pelicans, what the support is, which is pretty much non-existent.
The Pelicans are quite literally in the shadow of the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Smoothie King Center is in the shadow of the Superdome, right next to it.
I was there.
I was there for the NBA play-in tournament when the Kings lost to the Pelicans there after Beam Team won. That was the second season of the Beam Team. Had a great time. New Orleans, wonderful city, but the Pelicans
city.
are not. The Pelicans are a blip on the radar.
But they're like an
over there.
afterthought.
Yeah, the Pelicans are what the Colorado Rockies are in Denver.
Sure.
Nobody cares.
No.
But curious point about Zion. Let me ask you guys this. If the Pelicans were to try to trade Zion right now, would he would I feel like he'd be more to get a Trae Young-esque return, which was nothing, compared to maybe if they wait till the summer or they wait till this market to figure itself out a little bit more, maybe they can get more value for him. But I do agree, the longer they hold on to Zion, the more they're in just this limbo weird place.
I don't know if it's been clear yet that there will, I don't know if it's 100% sure because it's not come out like some of these other players like Trey and Ja. It hasn't fully come out we want to part ways. We're not interested in keeping.
They haven't made a choice yet.
They haven't really made that choice
You're
yet.
Right.
So
You're
I'm
right.
are you even really considering it? Or is this your way of doing business is staying mum until the time comes and then we're done with Zion. We're done with his issues, blah. Go.
I think it just depends on the team, right? It only takes one to say, we think we can build our future around Zion and are willing to part with multiple picks. I think that team is probably someone who's between 7 and 12 and is doesn't want to do the full rebuild and is going to double down on their core. I don't know exactly who that team would be, but it's some team with that description. Makes sense of who would part with multiple picks for Zion.
By the way, if the Kings, land a really good draft pick in this year's draft, or Scott Perry handles this trade deadline the right way, the Kings immediately vault past the Pelicans, by the way.
Yeah.
But right now, as it stands, we talked about this earlier in the week, the Kings are the only team in the lottery with a contract of $40+ million, other than the Indiana Pacers, who Tyrese Halliburton is out all season, and they were just in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
So to me, that's not even comparable. It's the Kings by themselves. And oh yeah, by the way, the Kings have 2 of those $40+ million contracts.
It's that money.
One of them they traded De'Aaron Fox for. Like, the Kings completely botched their opportunity to turn their franchise star, whether you thought he was a franchise star or not, he was the face of the franchise for years. And you failed to turn him into anything of value outside of maybe a 2031 Timberwolves pick, and we'll see what that pick ends up being a handful of years from now, or what you can turn it into if you're Scott Perry. What about the Washington Wizards, though? The Wizards at least have good young players, some of them, and the Washington Wizards got Trae Young for pennies, basically.
He hasn't played yet, has he?
No,
I didn't.
He's not played for them yet.
Yeah.
So the Wizards, I'd say they're moving in the right direction, and they have things that the Kings wish that they had. Not necessarily Trae Young, but young players.
Sure.
But if we're also talking about market and everything like that, too, you talk about another city that doesn't care about their team.
That's a prime. I don't think their ownership's that bad, right? I don't know.
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Franchise is terrible.
It's the guy who owns the Capitals, and they won a championship.
I know.
So I don't know.
That's all he focuses on. We got the Capitals.
Yeah, that's true. It's like hockey's better than this team.
Well.
Yeah, they're up there just because of the sheer record, right? Just because of what they're not doing this season in terms of what. But we can't just look at the records this year. We have to look at the actual situation. And you're right, like they have a future kind of more in sight, where the Kings are like, we're just trying to move off of these not future players for our team, and that's the first order of business before we even start to get to what the actual team is going to look like.
Oh, sorry, go.
I was just going to say, I would make the case to the Wizards because they're in year 3 of the rebuild, and it feels like they're no closer to getting out of the rebuild than Sacramento is. I mean, they have young players, like they have Sarr and Trey Johnson and everything else, but if the Kings 3 years from now are in the same spot as the Wizards, we're going to feel like the Kings are the worst team in the league.
100%. Let's look at it this way before we go to break. You have the Kings, you have the Pelicans, you have the Wizards. It's like Pokemon. You can pick one that is yours. You completely take it over, whether you're the owner, GM, whatever. That is your team. And they're all in the current situation, and you're going to pick one. Which one are you picking out of the 3?
Whoever gets the number 1 pick.
That's cheating. You can't do that. I'm talking right now.
God, that's hard because I always want to go with the one I know the most, which is the Kings.
Yep.
I would probably say Washington.
Washington?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because they're in the rebuild and they're seeing it through right now.
I would go Sacramento. Although I do respect Washington doing the thing where it's like you start with a penny and you turn it into a house by trading.
Yeah.
They essentially traded Bradley Beal for Jordan Poole for Chris Paul for, ended up with Trae Young.
The Washington Wizards are the pyramid scheme of the NBA.
Oh, there we go.
They're just working their way up. I think I still would go Sacramento for my obvious biases, but it's very dependent upon what they do over the next week until the trade deadline, and of course how this draft lottery and this upcoming draft goes. So I'm putting all my hopes and dreams in the draft as usual. But when we come back, it's time for Pick a Side.
Ooh, let's go.
Kyle's giving us topics. We'll pick a side on that. Would love to hear what side you are on with these topics as well. So join us. Coming up next, Matt and Kayla, Sactown.
When value matters, Elk Grove Chevrolet delivers. Right now, purchase a 2026 Chevrolet Silverado for $4,500 off. The Silverado 1500 stands out with legendary towing power, a bold new design, and the dependability you expect from Chevy. Visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com for full details. Don't miss your chance to drive the new Chevrolet Silverado. Stop by Elk Grove Chevrolet today and experience quality that goes the distance.
Award-winning guitarist and songwriter Gary Clark Jr. Tour 2026, Saturday, January 31st, 7 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. An electrifying night of music with Gary Clark Jr. Special guest, Marcus King Band. On sale at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit thundervalleyresort.com. Gary Clark Jr. Live.
Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it. with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder. Now just $189. Built for strength, flexibility, and job site versatility. Pros, these savings will only be here for a limited time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/30 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Join Sactown Sports Downtown before every Kings game and pick up an In-Shape Fitness Kings Rally Towel while supplies last. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert, John Party, and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. It's the perfect Valentine's gift. Surprise them with live country music and dancing. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center and Hilton Sacramento. For more info, visit CITPFest.com.
The Travel Guys, new on KHTK 1140 every Saturday at 11 a.m.
We'll make you a smarter traveler. Tips you can use on the road and at the airport, plus reports from top consumer advocates.
The Travel Guys, 11 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140. Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
It's a segment that's quickly become at least a favorite of ours here on the show, because you never know what topics Kyle's going to throw at us, and you never know what takes we are going to have. It is time for Pick a Side, and we're not going to waste any time so we can get as many in as possible. Kyle!
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Let us go. Let's get in here.
All right.
Music.
Pick a side number one today. Inside the NBA. It's on ESPN now. I kind of watched a little bit of it yesterday. We want to know, has Inside the NBA lost its touch?
Yes. Yes, it has, Kyle, Matt, and listeners. I also have tuned in at times this season. Oh, by the way, when it's actually on, because ESPN has dictated when it's on, which is pretty much
on, what,
never.
5 times?
Yeah, I mean,
6 times?
I know that that's been talked about as well. That there's not a lot of happy campers about that. Yeah, it doesn't have the same kind of energy that I felt like it had when it was on TNT. Like, I feel like ESPN does a great job of holding a cloud over people sometimes. Some people, they let do their thing. Some people, they like to just control. And I feel like right now they're trying to control our guys. Charles, Shaq, and all of those guys. Like, something's different.
It feels watered down, for sure.
Yeah.
I would say, like, one of the best things about Inside the NBA, and I've watched the shows in their entirety, and they're great.
Yeah.
At least they were. But the clips that would come out of Inside the NBA that you could go onto YouTube right now and type in Inside the NBA compilation, and an hour-long video would come up, and you're glued to the screen for an hour because you just get these fun, organic basketball moments between 4 goofballs.
Yeah.
If you're going to Inside the NBA for like hard-hitting basketball analysis, you're at the wrong show. But that's not what they're there for.
No.
And I just feel like I saw a clip from Inside the NBA on social media for the first time the other day, and it was Charles making fun of ESPN because they had Shams on, and then like his screen went black, or like they lost the connection, and Charles said like pay your bill, ESPN.
You have money.
But it's not the same. It hasn't felt the same. It hasn't been the same, and I think it's a dropped ball by ESPN. Yep.
So you're not going to believe this.
Oh, no.
I am kind of on the other side, because I don't think Inside the NBA itself has lost its touch. It is still the same show, and you guys were talking about ESPN. I think the bigger problem is the ESPN formatting is putting them into a box.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because what Inside the NBA itself, like the pregame show is called like NBA Tip-Off, and that's never where you get the authentic clips. That's just 30 minutes of them getting to the games and selling ads. The halftime show, you get a couple authentic moments, but Inside the NBA, the post-game is really where you get the moments. And they've tried to do it on ABC a couple times, and the show's like 15 minutes long because they have to get to local news. So it's like what made Inside the NBA great is it's essentially like David Letterman or Jimmy Fallon, like nighttime basketball variety show. And because of their formatting restrictions, it's just like, here's a highlight, here's Shaqtin' a Fool, here's a quick Ernie's stat of the night, and we're going to Sports Center. And they just need to let it breathe a little bit.
Breathe.
I feel like I've heard and seen more from the NBA on Prime crew this year than I've seen inside the NBA.
Or NBC.
And it's not the same.
No.
It's not the same.
I think that because ESPN was very clear about, like, we don't want to change Inside the NBA. They've been trying to buy that property for years.
Well, you did.
But I think they need to just stop. I mean, again, I get it's advertisers and stuff. And TNT was just leading into Charmed at 11:30 at night on a Thursday. But they need to just let it breathe. If it goes an hour, 20 minutes, it goes an hour, 20 minutes. That was always the best thing about Inside the NBA.
All right, Kyle, what's next?
All right, next up, we talked about the Spurs a little bit earlier, how they don't want Giannis. Absolutely not.
Shame.
But they're second place in the Western Conference, trailing only Oklahoma City. Pick a side. The San Antonio Spurs right now should be the favorites to win the NBA Finals.
I disagree. You got to prove it. They haven't proven anything yet. They haven't gotten to the playoffs really as that group as we know it yet. The Oklahoma City Thunder still are there in front of them, regardless of, hey, you beat them 2-3 times in the regular season. Whoop-de-freaking-do.
Yeah.
You beat them 4 times in a playoff series. Whether you have home court advantage or not, like you still got to prove it to me. You still got to see it. I love Wemby. Of course, I love De'Aaron Fox. Love what Stephon Castle is doing. Love that group they put together. Harrison Barnes is playing really good basketball this season for them as well. I know Jeremy Sohan wants out, but whatever. Like I like this team a lot. I'm very interested in how they play in the playoffs, but to call them title favorites based off of how they played in the NBA Cup and what they're doing in the regular season, nah.
I think there's still parts that they're going to have to learn about themselves as a young group, and there are parts about Oklahoma City that they already know how to get there. And I think that's the biggest difference when it comes to the NBA. It's such a long season. Yes, you've got San Antonio who's hot, and then Oklahoma's cooling down. Like, you can't really know until the playoffs happen, and I think experience goes a long way, and confidence in a group that's a little bit more experienced. I'm still not going to say San Antonio's a favorite.
I would also just add that the way the playoff breaks down right now, they would have to play Jokic in the second round and the Thunder in the conference finals. So if they do make it, they are going to earn it.
That's the West, though. No matter what, the West, the path is not going to be easy.
They're going to have to earn it. All right, pick a side number 3. This is a Matt and Kayla specialty. Are you team coffee or team energy drink, as you both have your coffees and energy drinks in the studio?
Oh, so I do have a coffee today, but I'm going to give you my thoughts are I like energy drinks more, particular ones. I'm not a fan of all, just because I don't fully drink my coffees. I'm holding this up. There's a lot of coffee in here because it gets cold too fast. Energy drinks are pretty much a consistent temperature. Coffee, I take about 4 sips. It gets cold. It's going in the garbage.
I used to think energy drinks were absolutely disgusting, and then I don't know what happened. Something changed, and now I drink them way too much. Way too much.
Are they good for us? No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
not.
Do
we like them? Yes.
And they work. Like, that's the thing. Energy drinks work. Coffee works. Like, when I worked at Panera, I used to do just, when I work in the morning,
some good coffee.
Just straight espresso shots. Boy, you want to fly off the handle, just take espresso shots. And I know some people do that, and you guys are insane. But coffee destroys my stomach. Coffee is horrible to me. And if every sip I take is just a reminder of my failure. If you drink black coffee, like just straight black coffee, you need help. You need help.
My mom and dad did that growing up.
Insanity.
My grandfather did it every day.
Insanity. Just lick pavement. Like it's terrible. So, but yeah, I'm team energy
I need to
drink.
bring a thermos, by the way. The YouTube chat is saying I need to bring a thermos for my coffee to keep it warm.
Keep it toasty.
Yeah.
You're not going to believe this, guys.
Oh gosh. Kyle,
I am on
killing
team.
Us.
I'm on team coffee, but it's not for the reason that you guys think. So,
okay.
I have never once in my life had an energy drink of any kind. I've only ever had coffee once in my life, and I didn't really like it, so I never went back to it. I just also sleep a lot, so I guess that's my version of it. Is my body needs a lot of sleep, but I've had one coffee and 0 energy drinks, so therefore I have to be team coffee because I've never had one.
Matcha? Is that like the new thing for guys your age, gals your age? Matcha?
Yes,
like natural.
I've heard about the matcha, but it's not for me. I'm more of like the sugar drinks.
Yeah, just drink water. How about that? Just drink water.
I've got my water too.
Everybody just drink water.
That's what I do. So I don't do partake in either. One last pick a side. I think this is a Kayla special. Adults who go to Disneyland without.
Mine.
No, this is Matt. Okay, Matt. Be careful. Adults who go to Disneyland without kids are, as you say, cringe.
Oh.
Listen. Listen. Look, I'm looking at the camera. Everybody look at me. Radio listeners, don't. Well, if you're driving, look at the road. But everybody,
Brandon from Promotions, watch out.
Look at me in the eyes. If you come at me for enjoying Disneyland, you're the problem. You're a psychopath. You need help. Let me enjoy Disney. Let me wear my ears. I have big enough ears as it is, but I want bigger ones on top of my head. Let me go on all the rides I like. Let me give all my money to the mouse, and let me have a good time. All right, my wife and I are both Disney adults. I proposed to my wife at Disneyland. I proposed to her at the Blue Bayou, which is the restaurant inside the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Do they have they have the Potter ride and all that? I'm surprised it wasn't there.
That's Universal.
Oh, shoot.
God, Kayla.
Sorry about that.
Don't be Kayla. How about that? Don't mix that up. How
I'm
dare
not a
you?
Disneyland nerd by any means.
How dare you? No, let me go to Disneyland as an adult, and I'll leave my kid at home if that means I'm going to have a better time. Although I brought my kid 3 times.
Yeah, well, I knew you had, so I thought you were going to be the opposite because I knew you had a kid.
Me love Disney.
I can't say that you can't do that because I've done that. I've done that when I lived in California, in Southern California. And I took my best friend and I went. We had a blast.
Yeah.
We got lost on the train, and that was even more fun.
Lost on the train?
We didn't get off at a right stop.
Monorail?
And then we kept on going round and
At
round.
Disneyland or Disney World?
Disneyland. Yeah, in Anaheim.
How do you get lost on the train?
We just did. It's a joke we always talk about to the end of time.
It's not Disney World. Disney World's a big prop. Disneyland, you're in the park.
Yeah, it's not that big, but we did get lost.
Oh, Kayla.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
Yep.
But yes, Disney's great as an adult.
It's fun.
You're all stupid, not me.
It's fun.
You're not going to believe this, guys.
Oh my gosh.
I swear to God,
I think we need to switch you with producers.
If you come at me for being a Disney adult, I'm not talking to you until next segment when I'm obligated to.
I'm just going to say, I've never been to Disneyland as an adult.
And it makes a lot of sense why you're so angry and grumpy and mean.
In fairness, I've only been an adult for like 3 months, but
Fair.
I haven't been to Disneyland as an adult, so therefore I don't feel like I can speak to the experience. But also just do what makes you happy.
Okay, well that's not
All
fair.
right,
That was fence sitting and boring. Alan doesn't like Disneyland because he's not tall enough to ride any of the rides. We'll be right back after this.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
You want to know what a treat is? A treat is when you ask Frankie Cardicelli to come on the show, and one, he shows up on time. Shout out Frankie. Number two is he brings our good friend Chris Watkins with him.
That's called a trick.
We are.
That's right.
We are truly continuing our trend of stealing everything that Alan used to do in this time slot.
That's
so
right.
I guess
That's right.
Is this
he
our?
said no one was going to steal it from us.
Is this our first Kings roundtable? Is that what this is?
Alan doesn't own it.
He doesn't own it.
I don't see Brennan here.
Well,
Brennan
was on
Is
earlier
there
in the
another
week.
mic, by the way? Or is this it in here?
There's another one back here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I think we used to have one over
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brendan was on earlier in the week. Brendan got his shine.
Plus, let's be real. You didn't want just me on today. You wanted Chris or some reinforcements
well,
today.
so the only reason for this segment, we will talk Kings, but it's to truly introduce the Frankie's Yankee Minute, which is something that I'm very much looking forward to when it comes to baseball season, which is getting closer. Frankie, I know you're excited all the way in your loins. The Yankees are your obsession, your passion, and when you talk about them, it makes me laugh. So we are going to have the Frankie's Yankee Minute periodically when you're stressed out, frustrated, angry, happy, whatever. Talking about the
not
Yankees.
good.
I can't wait for this.
Frankie,
not good for my health first and foremost, and also people that are here, they're not going to have any sympathy for a Yankees.
No,
fan.
of course not. Exactly.
That's the point of it.
And your point?
But I still feel what I feel.
If our viewership might drop to 0, I don't care. It's for me.
Yeah, it's therapy for Matt. It's like what you did for the double drive-through. I do
Yes.
probably every single day at Kings games talking to you guys.
Frankie is like no one makes me laugh harder than Frankie because Frankie stresses out about everything and is just doom and gloom about everything. And his delivery.
Yankees, not everything,
Yeah.
not everything. Yankees.
Did you hear my joke that I made this morning during crosstalk?
No.
About you?
What was it?
Okay, I don't know.
I forget.
It was Patrick Selleck. Is that what his name?
Oh, no. Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck, because we were playing Celebrity Birthdays.
With the mustache?
Sorry, yeah, we're
Chris can't
I don't
keep
know.
that
I don't know.
Patrick Selleck's
I don't know his name. Tom Selleck
yeah, that's
for we were playing Celebrity Birthdays,
Yeah.
and I said, "Isn't that what Frankie?"
That's not bad. That's not bad. I like that one. I like that.
Celiac, raising awareness.
Yeah.
Celiac.
Talking about a mustache.
I cannot eat wheat. Wheat does not like wheat and Frank do not mix.
I thought that was a joke when you first said that too.
No,
And
it
I
wasn't.
couldn't
Joke's
tell.
on him.
And I am a horrible human being because it makes me laugh every time.
Yes, that
and
does
people
make you
are
terrible.
always asking him about it.
You're just
at
holding
Kings
bread up in
games.
front of me at Kings game. Just holding bread up
Like a duck or
He
something.
brings like his own.
Like you're a vampire?
Yes,
He
it
has
feels
a-
that way.
He has a little plastic bag with little celiac-friendly cookies.
They're literally Chips Ahoy.
Are they good?
Yes, they taste just like Chips Ahoy. They're the same brand. They're just gluten-free. Different flour. It's 2026, you guys. Isn't that crazy?
I know.
Anyway,
leave me alone.
So we were having a conversation about in the last block about whether or not the Kings, if they're in the worst situation currently of any team. And the final question that we came up with was this. So you have the Washington Wizards, you have the New Orleans Pelicans, you have the Sacramento Kings. You have to take over one of those three franchises as it stands right now. Which one would you rather take control of that you feel you're able to turn into somehow, you have the best chance to turn it into a success?
I mean, I don't have it in front of me, so I would imagine their cap situations are probably close. Like, I'm not sure about who has the most flexibility.
Yeah.
For some reason, I feel like, and Trae Young maybe moves the needle a little more, but I do feel like Washington, just as far as the young players they have and just the fact that I'd imagine they have a little more wiggle room and some. I'm not sure about Chris Middleton, how much time he has left on his contract or how much different the roster could look, but it feels like Washington is probably the best right now, and I would probably go after that, Sacramento, then New Orleans, because I think Caleb made a good point about how New Orleans has a bunch of off the court, like there's their fan base, the stadium. There's a lot of talk about if NBA looks to
get them out of there.
Yeah, it's possible, which we all experience out here in Sacramento, and that possibility is it's not ideal as a fan of that franchise, but I just feel like the Kings are right there. If they were to move off a couple big contracts in the next week, I think it moves the Kings a little closer to the top. If they can move off Zach LaVine or Domantas Sabonis and you free up $45-50 million of salary and you have a top draft pick this summer, okay, sure. But Washington has the possibility of getting that top pick, and they have a couple young players they could build around. And if Trae Young's a part of that equation and can be the Trae Young that we've seen, they might be in a better spot than those other two in the next couple of years.
I feel like it's the Kings. I mean, I think you laid out the Washington young players, all that. It's something to get excited about. Hopefully, they have Alex Sarr, who's the second pick in that draft, and so that's somebody you can convince yourself of. The reason why I would probably give the Kings I guess not the good nod, but the
benefit of the doubt.
Well, I guess I would give them the crown of being the worst situation, just because in my eyes, New Orleans hasn't made their De'Aaron Fox trade yet, and the Kings already did and messed it up. And so with Zion being there, you still have the opportunity to get something back major to help you build towards the future. The Kings have already spent that chip and spent it on Zach LaVine. And so I just think the Kings are in a much more dire situation. New Orleans, I can say they have they have Herb Jones, who has been fairly unimpressive these past couple of years. They have Trey Murphy, who's really the one to highlight if you're going to highlight their young players. They still, again, have Zion, who they can move off of. Jeremiah Fears looks great. Why can I not think of Derek Queen has been phenomenal this year when he's been able to play. And so it just, to me, feels like there's, especially from a fan base perspective, there's just a lot more to get excited about with those other situations, where I think here we're hoping that these veterans can get us things to be excited about. But I think we're even realizing now with 7 days before the deadline, a lot of those veterans might be here in 8 days. And so it just, to me, feels like the Kings they need to get out of the situation they're in and start putting their foot towards the future like every other team is, at least.
So you think they're the most dire situation, the Kings?
The Kings,
and
yes.
then you would you still pick them if you're going to pick one of those three moving forward, who will get there faster? Will you go with the Kings in that? Or you think maybe the Pelicans or Washington?
I'd probably pick Washington just because they just made that Trae Young trade, and that makes me feel like they're at least trying to get up. And it feels like, to me, New Orleans, again, they still need to. It's crazy. They're not at rock bottom yet, but they still need to get off of Zion or whoever it is that's going to kind of transition this time. And then, the Kings, I mean, I don't know what I don't know what players they would be getting for their future. So hopefully they get a top pick. But I mean, at this point, I think I was just talking to Frankie off air, they're all jumbled up right now with 4 teams for the worst pick in the draft. I mean, they could end up realistically at the bottom of that, being 4th, and then slide all the way back to 7, 8 in a worst case scenario. And so I hope the Kings obviously end up with that top pick, and that definitely changes maybe that conversation. But if their best chip right now is a theoretical top 5 or 3 pick. Like, I mean, the other teams at least have something that I can convince myself of.
Yeah, the best thing that the Sacramento Kings have is they just own all their draft picks going forward. But you still got to draft correctly, which has been a big issue for the Kings. Well, guys, exactly like to a minute, almost to the minute, a week from today, the trade deadline will have just concluded. Noon on Thursday of next week.
Should be a fun show for you guys.
Depends on what goes down. Like, gut feeling, are we talking about anything more than a Keon Ellis little side hustle deal, or is it going to be a disappointing day?
Chris and I also talked about this off air, which is funny. So we're a little warmed up. The more that I think we're in alignment here. The more that we think about it, it just has that feeling, and I hope I'm wrong, that it's going to be kind of a dud, and that I think these big contracts are going to be hard to move off of. And I think that the fact that Giannis requested that trade and kind of is switching the gears of where the Milwaukee Bucks are going right now, they were pretty serious, it seemed, for Zach LaVine. I don't know whether a team out there is going to be clamoring to bring Zach LaVine in on that $50 million player option for next year. So it seems like Keon Ellis is your guy that you're going to have to kind of trade in and see what you can get. And, I know that there's interest in Domantas Sabonis, and maybe there is a way that Toronto and the Kings can make something work. And we talked about, how much does that move the needle as far as taking the Kings ahead of that Washington-New Orleans pack? Does R.J. Barrett and Jakob Poeltl, even though his contract is bad, if you guys haven't had a chance to look at it,
it's bad.
It's real bad.
Matt laid it out.
It's
I do not
real
want it.
bad.
Yeah.
It's really, really bad. So does that make them that much better move the needle? I don't know. But I think that just when you look at the deadline and just kind of where things are going, it just seems very fitting after all the noise and how bad they've been that, well, they just make one little marginal move. Sure. But I'll conclude with, if the goal is to get a top pick, and at this point, I don't know what winning basketball games does very much for you. Fan how you want to fan, watch how you want to watch. I talked to my family about it. I'm like, if it's close and they compete, they want to watch the Kings win, but I'm like, when they lose, it isn't bad either. But if the top pick is the priority, maybe Scott Perry looks at this and just goes, "Hey, they're
doing great.
This is kind of working out.
Yeah.
Like, we don't really want to mess.
Happening.
We don't want to mess this up." So, but no, the real thing is, I think that those contracts it's really hard to move, and there aren't many people out there that are lining up for adding salary like that over age 30 players as well.
Yeah, no, I'm nervous. I definitely feel like at this point, I feel like the odds are that they're just gonna, move off of Keon because it's the thing that they know they can get a positive asset for. And, I think they're going to try and have conversations about DeMar. To me, DeMar, like if we're going like order of likelihood, it's probably Keon, DeMar, but there's a pretty big gap in there. And then, maybe like Malik, like I just can't see, like Frankie just laid out, like the Milwaukee situation felt like the Kings' life raft here in terms of getting out of Zach LaVine's contract. Maybe you could say the same about Toronto and Sabonis, and that does seem fairly serious for what it's worth. Like all the right people are talking about it and reporting on it. So it does seem to be legitimate interest, but the Giannis angle of all of this, I think, just makes everybody hold on to their pearls as tightly as possible. And until that move is made, I think the Kings' best hope is if that deal is done, 3 to 4 days before the deadline, I think that gives some teams some time to kind of readjust. But if this Giannis thing is going all the way down to, 7 days from now exactly, like that to me feels like for the Kings the worst case scenario, especially when we've already seen, or it's already been talked about, I guess, that it's difficult to make trades, period, in this new CBA environment. Like, I just think throwing in the Giannis wrinkle just for the time's sake of everything makes everything a little bit clunky.
I wanted to get, because Matt and I talk about this a lot on the show, and I feel like we have the same question about DeMar DeRozan, and I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on this, if it's any different of why there is what seems to be no market for him. I know that it is a tough market in general right now, but why isn't any team really interested in that trade piece?
To me, it just kind of feels like the way that the game has changed. And I think DeMar DeRozan, we sit there, we watch him pass people on the all-time scoring list every night. And, I think some people look at it as, SGA is kind of in a similar way. They non-ethical hoops where he's just kind of taking shots and getting to the foul line and drawing free throws. And, I don't know how many teams that kind of need a player like that right now. And I think it kind of goes back to the concerns the Kings had when they first brought in DeMar DeRozan. We were talking about how will the spacing work with Fox and Sabonis and DeMar? I think a lot of us kind of, myself included, kind of thought, well, I mean, he's a proven scorer and can help. Maybe he'll help things kind of move along, and that's not really how it's worked out. The ball kind of does get stagnant, and he can facilitate. I think he's a 4-5 assists per game kind of type of player, but it just doesn't seem like and Chris and I talked about it again. Chris and I were just kind of chatting back there. The Clippers.
Before the show.
The show Clippers, though. That was the team that's been most attached to DeMar DeRozan throughout the year so far. Clippers are playing
really
like
good.
700 basketball, 800 basketball right now. They look like they're the best team in the league as of late, so they don't need him. Nope. Miami, they're kind of transfixed on Giannis right now. Maybe they go back and say, okay, well, we need something, but does that really move the needle for them? I don't know. It just kind of seems like that he's not someone who can bring you a plus on the defensive side. He's a guy that's going to get you 20 points per game. He's going to get to the free throw line. That's pretty much it. And he's making $24 million this year and has $10 million on the books for next year, unless you pick up the whole thing. So I feel like there might be a team out there come next Thursday that goes, okay, but like we talked about and like you laid out on your podcast with Chris right here,
I just asked the question.
Maybe attaching Keon is the way that you kind of get some teams to go, okay, sure. And that's contingent on Keon signing an extension. But I just feel like it's the fact that the game has changed and not many people need just a 20-point bucket getter.
Yeah, no, I feel like his value is just tough for teams to kind of swallow because he's 36 years old. Like, he's not playing defense, to your point, and there's a lot of teams that need him, but then it's the reality of like, well, what are you going to give up for him? Because are you going to give up a young piece again for a guy who is 36 and isn't on a guaranteed contract next year? So you don't want to give up somebody who's going to help your future and who is also more than likely helping you now in some capacity. And then there's the conversation of, okay, DeMar DeRozan, in theory, yes, can we say DeMar DeRozan is worth a first-round pick or worth a young, good player or whatever it is? Sure, but then it's, again, the reality of find me the specific team where they're willing to make that sacrifice and it makes sense and they're in the perfect window of, hey, this is – if you're trading for DeMar DeRozan, that is we're trying to win this season. Like, I mean, obviously his contract, but also obviously his age and just what he's able to provide you right now. Like, it's just really tough to have all of those stars align and then, again, bring up the CBA thing. And that's why, again, I would say that Portland Trailblazers thing, the thing me and Frankie were ultimately talking about with that trade, you can argue about the semantics of the specifics of everything, but what do people expect to get for DeMar DeRozan at this point? And isn't like Matisse Thybulle and Robert Williams, there's definitely flaws with those guys, 100%, but it's getting something where you potentially could get nothing for him moving forward, or I just can't imagine you're going to get any sort of piece that's going to be, wanted right now if they're trading for DeMar DeRozan. It's just a really complex situation.
Good points.
We are joined by two of our own here on Sactown Sports, Frankie Carticelli and Chris Watkins on our digital side of things. And guys, there's a Jekyll and Hyde, it feels like, amongst this fan base, because there's it's better to make no trade than a bad trade, which logically makes a ton of sense. It's not emotional. It's just don't do something stupid just for the sake of doing something. But then there's the other side of the same fan, and I'm talking about myself here, is like, yeah, but you just give me something. Like, give me a reason to care or to hope or to tune in or anything for the rest of the season. And while you're right, you can't expect a massive return for DeMar DeRozan. Well, I know moving on from DeMar or moving on from Levine, even if it's a salary dump, or moving on from any of these guys, bare minimum opens up a rotational spot, gets rid of the log jam, which we've heard way too much, and tells me, okay, there's a green light for Neat Clifford to play 33 to 35 minutes a night for the rest of the season. Like, it gets rid of that problem for Doug Christie. That, at the very least, I think is what this organization is hoping for, is calling for as we count down to the days till we're putting all our hopes in ping pong balls. I don't know how to tell a Sacramento Kings fan who would be distraught on February 6th after the trade deadline passes and the Kings do nothing, like, don't be angry, don't be upset, because we've got now 2.5 more months of this that you have to sit through, and it could be Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan playing too much, which doesn't give the opportunities to the young guys that we think need to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of it might not be a perfect parallel, but like when you said that, it kind of sounded to me like like there's two kind of ways of playing a game. You can either, be a little bit risky and ambitious and say like, hey, I'm I'm playing, like I might as well put my own put my own risk down onto it and have some say in it. And then I think there's a very correct way of doing business, and I'm not going to step outside those lines. And I think that's kind of what you're speaking to is like, don't make a move for the sake of just making a move. But at the same time, I think it might be worse in this situation to do nothing because of what the ramifications would be. And I think if you're sitting here trying to figure out, we want a first round pick for DeMar, but in reality, this is just going to turn into 2 seconds, and we really don't want that. We just want a first for don't spend time trying to nitpick the perfect deal and end up doing nothing. It to me, that would be the much worse thing to do. And so I mean, there does definitely reach a point here, in my opinion, where some guys have to get moved, and if it's a bad deal, I didn't love the Saric for Valanciunas trade, but hey, if somebody's got to get off the roster, things have to happen in order for this organization to take steps forward, and they cannot do that as currently constructed. They literally cannot.
And looking back at that now, the Valanciunas Saric deal, it kind of the urgency was gone there. But we sat here at this table a year ago, me, you, and Alan and Brendan saying, okay, they need to capitalize. Well, before the Fox trade and all that stuff kind of went haywire. But in the Alan's cooking up the trade machine in December last year. We're talking about how can they, take advantage of this window. Sabonis is 29, Fox is 27. He has a contract coming up. They need to, make win now moves. Those are the conversations we were having. When they make those moves, like you talked about, the Saric Valanciunas deal that are making your team significantly worse. We don't even know where Darius Saric is. Is he there? Is he with the team? Is he okay?
Forgot.
Human briefcase.
I mean, he's fine. He's
okay. Is he awake?
He's all right. But the urgency is not there, and that's what I think the hard part for Kings fans. And I'm just speaking on the people that I know and I talk to just about, like you mentioned, Matt. Why should I watch? Why should I show up? Why should I go to games? Why should I invest my time into this team? The deadline's kind of a reason to get people reinterested. Yeah. And if we are sitting here February 6th and there's no moves that were made, and like you mentioned, Russell Westbrook is still playing 30 minutes, DeMar DeRozan playing 30 minutes, Zach LaVine is kind of in and out of the rotation, but still on the roster. Where does that leave the Kings? And the answer I've come up with, which is very bleak and not ideal, is just, this is the way that it goes. This is how these situations unfold for teams that are looking to establish a new identity, to find a new direction, to establish what's next. And then what's next for the Kings is they need to get a top draft pick. Not like they should. They need to. They need a franchise player. They need someone they can build around for the next half decade. Someone that other teams can look at and go, wow, wouldn't it be great to have a guy like that who can go get you 25 and 10 if it's a Boozer, if it's a DeBonsa, or if it's Peterson, if you believe you want to hitch the wagon to a franchise guard again. Mm-hmm. That's what they need. And, like you said, and Chris said, I think Scott Perry uses the phrase prudent and opportunistic a lot.
Yep.
And Monty McNair did the same thing when he was here. And, we've seen the last two GMs that have been in that seat. They're not going to make panic moves.
His term was maintain flexibility.
Was that Monty?
Yeah, Monty always talked about maintain flexibility.
There's always something. So that's kind of like where I've accepted it myself as someone who goes to these games, and I love what I do, and I love watching basketball.
Yeah.
Love it. But we've talked about it as the media as a whole at times, saying another rebuild, huh? For some of the guys that have been around forever, like Sean and James and Anderson. These guys, I have to watch it again. But man, here we go again. And that's kind of what happens. And you have to hope that when the ping pong balls, are revealed on May whatever, that the Kings get a top pick. That's really the only thing you can hope for at this point.
Is Doug Christie, he's in a weird spot. Like that, it is what it is, right? And we had a little convo about your mailbag and the question that I believe you remember.
Yeah.
If this roster is pretty much the same and there's pretty much no moves made, I feel like we're going to be seeing the same situations. We're going to be questioning the same things. So this year is pretty much a wash for Doug Christie in terms of what is he as a coach. So he gets 1 year after that to pretty much decide if he's the guy. Are we seeing anything from him that can convince us this can be the dude moving forward, or we have to just wait?
I mean, I'll answer the question first. I think the positive in favor of Doug is what we've learned about how much the young guys like him.
Yeah, and we know that.
And he seems to be fully hitching his wagon now to the developmental phase, that next step, and the guys liking him buys him at least the good grace to keep him around. But that's why I said earlier, I'm curious what you guys think about this. He's the real pressure, I think, is coming next season when hopefully he has a roster that makes maybe a little bit more sense and he has a top pick to develop. If things don't go well that year, not in terms of wins and losses, but in terms of development, I don't think he's getting that team option picked
Because
up
it's
on his
just
contract.
weird this year. Like, what? I can't really figure out exactly what to make of it.
It is an anomaly for sure. I've never seen anybody in this kind of situation before because you're right. It is, I wouldn't call it a gap year, but it's very clear to me
Leap
that
year is
whatever
what I'm
happens
thinking.
this year just doesn't really matter. Nope. It's a weird like handshake agreement under the table thing. I'm not saying that it actually is, but it just very much, especially like in the middle of the season or a couple of under investigation, I guess, if you will, for lack of a better term. Like they're just not looking that way right now.
From a schematic standpoint, rotations, there are concerns and there are questions for sure. But like we've talked about, he is a first-year head coach. Mm-hmm. He is someone who's been on a coaching staff for, I think, this is his 5th year, I think, since he got hired. That's a great question. As a whole. I believe it was the 2021-22 season. So this is someone like we talked about before. I think it was on with Matt's pod or maybe just up here with Alan in the past. Like, there's going to be some growing pains, and for him too. And I think what Scott Perry said, how Doug doesn't deserve, or none of the blame kind of goes to him. He's not making any of these roster decisions. He's dealing with what he has been put in front of him. So I do think this year, like you said, is a leap year. And if the Kings do have a top draft pick, like that, I think is going to be a better way we can kind of evaluate and say, okay, how does he use him? How does he utilize him? I mean, the Kings had the 2nd overall pick in 2018, and Luke Walton brought him off the bench, and that just immediately sent things just down the drain. Yeah. So how do things, kind of roll out from there, and what does the roster look like come training camp in the fall? I feel like things will be a lot more in focus then, because Doug, to my knowledge, I think he has 2 more years on his contract, and 1 year is a non-guarantee or a team option.
It's a team option.
Team option. Yeah. So next year would be the prove it year.
Yeah.
And we saw Mike Brown go through one of those a year or so ago. They signed him to an extension and jettisoned him to New York. So we will see what happens.
We'll wrap up with this. I'm going to put all 3 of you into an ultimatum. It's either a quiet trade deadline where it's just a Keon Ellis minor move for like a first-round pick or something, or it's Domantas Sabonis to the Toronto Raptors, but you have to take back – you get R.J. Barrett in the deal. You have to take back Emmanuel Quickley's contract and a first-round pick. So it's nothing or that trade, because it feels like that trade is the hope we have for a significant trade at this deadline. So you have to take Quickley's contract. I prefer that way over Pirtle, even if it's bigger and longer. Pause. But –
oh, God.
I think it's going to be a quiet deadline. I think it's going to be a very quiet.
Well, what do you want? What do you want?
Would you want
What do you
that?
want?
What I want to happen?
Would you rather? What would you rather?
What do you
have?
want?
What do you want?
What do you want?
rather?
I think if there is a first round pick involved, which that's a hot topic right now, who deserves a first round pick, who doesn't. I think a first round pick being attached in that Raptors trade without Pirtle would be the most ideal scenario. But why would Toronto do that? They obviously want to offload salary if they're going to part with the first round pick too. So
because they're getting the best player in the deal.
I agree.
That they want.
But that would be the ideal scenario for me. A Sabonis being traded, because the Kings do have 2 bigs. They have Reno, they have Carbwell, they have 2 bigs they can legitimately, I think, build around, especially if you're going to draft a forward or a guard with the top pick in next year's draft. Center becomes kind of like, okay, see what you have. So I do think trading Sabonis, even over Levine, would probably be the most ideal.
I'm doing the deal.
I want Ochai Agbaji instead of Emmanuel Quickley, but if I can do that, then I'll take it.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
Domas.
Thanks, guys, for joining us on this not Kings Roundtable, Kings Roundtable.
We can do it. I'm usually here on Thursdays, so I'm happy to hop in.
Well, and we had a comment on the YouTube chat. It's 100% right. Since this digital team of Frankie, Chris, and Brendan has come together, like the digital content from the station has exploded, and it's so awesome to be a part of that too.
Thank you.
That was from them, not from me.
Well, I'm saying thank you to them. I'm not saying thank you to you.
No,
I hear from you too much. I don't.
Chris does everything. Frankie does nothing, except for watch the Yankees and pout.
I'll see. Yeah.
We appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Kyle.
We'll be right back talking a little bit of football. Kayla Anderson, Matt George, right here, Sactown Sports.
Listen to the #1 sports lineup in Sacramento.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Matt George, and Kayla Anderson. The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Every weekday live and local 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Online at SactownSports.com or download the app right on your phone. Your #1 source for all your Northern California sports. Sactown Sports 1140.
If you're serious about your golf game, then you need to know about Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Whether it's the TrackMan-powered player performance studio for your best fit clubs, or the cutting-edge technology putter fitting studio, or the free Ballnamic ball fitter and 3D foot scanner, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop offers you total game fitting from head to toe with equipment and apparel. Find your advantage at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop with the latest offering of new golf products in Northern California. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Emran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
Business moves fast, and so do we. At Bank of Marin, we team up with businesses in the greater Sacramento area to help you drive the lane and score big. With dedicated relationship bankers and local decision making, we help you move quickly, whether you're upgrading equipment, buying your next building, streamlining cash flow, or fueling growth. From expansion to investment, we're ready to help you win. Bank of Marin, your local business bank. Visit us at bankofmarin.com. Member FDIC.
The Travel Guys, new on KHTK 1140 every Saturday at 11 a.m.
We'll make you a smarter traveler. Tips you can use on the road and at the airport, plus reports from top consumer advocates.
The Travel Guys, 11 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Love having Frankie and Chris on the show with us. Love just working with those guys. Those guys, along with Brendan Nunez, they've been my friends for years. So to be able to work with them and be in the building with them is a ton of fun now. I'm looking forward to all the great stuff that we're all going to be able to do together here on Sactown Sports in the coming years. And yes, any social media stuff you see, any articles you read, which you should, on SactownSports1140.com or SactownSports.com, excuse me. The videos you see on the Sactown Sports YouTube channel, the graphics you see on social media, all of that is handled by those three guys, that digital team. They do amazing work. So we're really lucky to have them. And then every once in a while we can tell them, hey,
bring them in
basically
here.
Do the show for us.
Right?
We want to chat with you.
It's fun getting their opinions, though, even on the DeMar thing, because you and I think very similar on that situation.
Yeah.
And they had a little bit differing, opinions on that.
Right.
Which I see those sides to it,
Sure.
too. So
I think, you have to look at all sides of everything with what's going on right now. But let's take a break from all the basketball talk and all the trade deadline talk to talk a little. The Super Bowl.
That's going on.
That big football game. That's
right
coming
in
up.
our backyard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Levi State. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's just down the street. Yeah.
It is.
Oh yeah, this big football game that's supposed to happen a week from this coming Sunday. The Seattle Seahawks. Sorry, Kayla Anderson's Seattle Seahawks taking on the New England Patriots, who Kayla Anderson also has a rooting interest in because she's a big fan of Mike Vrabel and covered him in time.
Bad.
So pick a side.
Oh, she's on a first-name basis.
Conflict of interest at its best.
Well, it's you win no matter what happens, but that's not okay.
No, it's
you got to pick a side.
I have to pick Seahawks. I'm sorry, Coach.
Oh, well, there goes him coming on the
Coach
show.
Frabes. I didn't.
Can you have said that after he comes on?
I didn't
Coach
mention
Vrabes.
it. I didn't remind him in that it was.
Hey, Coach.
I'm
Seattle
a
Seahawks fan Kayla Anderson here. You want to come on our show? Click. Oh,
sorry.
But in terms of the Seahawks are the favorite.
Yeah.
They should be the favorite. We've talked about the amount of pressure that's really on them in this game. I feel like the Patriots can come in and basically play with house money, play free. Of course, they have internal pressure. Are you ever going to get back here? Are you ever going to have a better chance? Right?
Mm-hmm.
The league this season was so weird and so wide open. But compared to the Seahawks, who are we are 100% the better overall team, we need to be winning this game. All expectations are them to win, even if the spread is not as big as I thought it would be. I think it's -4 or -4.5 in favor of Seattle.
4.5.
Which I think is
4,
maybe being a little too friendly to the Patriots, if we're being completely honest. That being said, who has the better shot, guys, of being back in the Super Bowl next year? In a year that I'm imagining next season is not going to be as weird as this season was.
Yeah.
But between Seattle and their kind of win now team versus the up and coming New England Patriots who are clearly ahead of schedule, it seems like. Out of those two, if we're talking about the Super Bowl a year from today and one of those two are back, who is it?
You know what's weird is when you just said that was my initial thoughts before I went in and was breaking down some numbers and your average year of the roster. And I was surprised with the outcome that I got once I did that, and I had changed my mind because initially I was like, I'm going to go with the New England Patriots for the fact that they are what I thought would be a younger team. They are in the AFC East, which two of those four teams are going to have brand new coaches next year. So how good is the division of the Pats, Bills, Dolphins, and Jets going to be? It seems to be a division that right now either the Pats or Bills can win. But again, they have a new head coach in Joe Brady there. We don't know exactly how he's going to be as a head coach. So I initially thought them. And then I was looking at the Seahawks. They have the 5th best cap space, which is kind of wild considering who they have on their roster right now.
So they can add on.
They have 76 million plus in cap space. The Patriots actually have the 11th best cap space, which is only about 34 million. And that's still a lot to work with.
Sure.
But I do feel like they have a younger quarterback who could go through one of those years because it always seems like these young quarterbacks, either the league catches up to them or there is a down year, and maybe it won't be that way for Drake May. I think with the Seahawks, those numbers I just gave you, and the fact that if Sam Darnold can get over the hump and win a Super Bowl, he's kind of got all the demons out of his way, and then he has still pretty much the weapons he has. You probably add somebody and kind of let Cooper Kupp go do his thing.
Sure.
But you still have some nice young pieces around you and that defense. I think it's the Seahawks, except for the fact they play in the NFC West. And it's harder. It's a harder path.
I am going to go with the Seahawks, not because I have as much detailed research as Kayla brought to the table.
Sorry, I was trying to really back up
football
that.
Nerd.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, Kayla. I'm usually the person who brings all the detailed stuff to the table and then gets made fun of. But I really love that analysis. Mine is a little more simplistic in the sense of not that the path in the NFC is easier than the AFC, because I think we don't talk enough about how I think the last 8 years, the Rams, Niners, and Eagles or Tom Brady won every conference championship in the NFC. Like, those have been the gold standards in that conference for the last decade. But I think the fact that every power in the AFC had a down year all at the same time, it just feels... I'm not saying it's going to be back to Mahomes and Lamar and Allen and Burrow again, because I think those guys are getting old and they're not going to have the same runs forever without some help from their organizations. But the odds that all of them are going to be down another year in a row after that just seems unfeasible. So I don't even, much as I want to say Kansas City's going to come back and dominate the AFC again, like, I don't know which one is going to challenge the Patriots and the Broncos, but I know one of them has to, right? The league is still, if you have that quarterback, you give yourself a fighter's chance every year.
Let me present two arguments in favor of the Pats against the Seahawks, and you can both tell me how dumb or wrong I am. Argument number one, when you're talking about the cap space and you're talking about what the Seattle Seahawks have built.
Yeah.
We saw with the 49ers, when you build this young team, you build this defense, then the mouths start calling for to be fed, right? Oh, you got this cap space, pay me what I'm worth. And to keep that team together plus add on to it, you're going to have to pay these guys eventually and add on to it. So how much is that a factor?
Yeah.
And the other part of that, because keeping a team, especially if the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, everybody's coming for the bread. The other part of that is, I know we hyperfixate on the quarterback position, but when you're looking at Drake May and you're looking at Sam Darnold, I would argue this is Sam Darnold at his peak. This is as good as it's going to get for Sam Darnold. And it might be good enough to win the Super Bowl this year, and that's incredibly difficult. How many quarterbacks in history have never won it? So I'm not saying that to disparage him in any kind of way. But how much better is Sam Darnold going to get? Drake May is here in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And we don't know how much better Drake May is going to get, but there's a realistic developmental path to him becoming better, even better than this, and getting even better. So I don't know how much those two arguments sway you in any kind of way. If I were the Patriots, that's what I would be saying.
It made me think of it, so what I'll touch on with the quarterbacks really quick too is Drake May is your future, right? Like we know he's going to be there for a while, hopefully. But Sam Darnold, you're exactly right. I think he has one more year on his deal, and it's not guaranteed. I'm not exactly sure of those numbers, but it's something around the likes of that.
I'll look it up.
Or it's like 2 more years, but like this was the only guarantee. I can't remember. You look that up and tell me. So we don't necessarily know the long-term future of Sam Darnold, and he is kind of like in the prime now. So there's only kind of getting older to get with him. Jalen Milroe is their other quarterback that they've drafted. And it seems like they have some sort of hope in this guy maybe for the future. But then that made me think, Matt, I think the Seahawks will get poached in terms of their coaching staff.
Oh, for sure.
We're talking about Kubiak. He's been great for that offense. Remember, Mike McDonald is a defensive mind. My first thought just went to Kubiak's probably going to get poached.
Come to the silver and black, buddy.
I'm telling you. And so how is that going to disrupt the development of some of the younger guys moving forward? They can find a replacement, but will it work? On the other hand, Josh McDaniels, he's already done that in terms of trying to be a head coach. I don't think he's going anywhere soon, and I think he's the best thing that Drake May has had. So really, when thinking about that, Matt, that's a big part of it. That would sway me a little bit.
Because you were talking about Sam Darnold's contract. So he's facing a big jump in a payday next year. Next year is like the last year on his deal at $25.3 million base. However, there is a potential out built into his contract after this season.
Okay, gotcha.
So after this season, the Seahawks can get out of the Darnold contract, which if he loses the Super Bowl, maybe they do that. If he wins the Super Bowl, how do you do that?
Extension.
Hey, congratulations. Thanks for losing the Super Bowl. We're out of this contract. See you later, bud. Now we're going a different route. The Seahawks, both teams are in a really, really good position. Hey, that's why they're both in the Super Bowl. Great take, Matt. We're going to take the break. When we come back, we're continuing with the NFL talk. Some shocking NFL home attendance numbers. Kayla, you found these, and the lowest attended team threw me for an absolute loop. We'll share with you who that is, plus the highest attended team, and more coming up. Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
This is Bill Cartwright. Join us Thursday, February 5th at the Golden One Center for the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get more for your money at Elk Grove Chevrolet, where value meets style. Purchase a new 2026 Chevrolet Trax for just $299 per month plus tax. The Trax delivers more for less with a sleek design, impressive fuel economy, and tech that keeps you connected. Conveniently located in Elk Grove, just minutes from Sacramento. Visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com today for full details and see why the Trax is such a smart choice.
Finding excuses to not do your taxes? Unsure where to start? Sounds like you may be suffering from FOMO, the fear of messing up. The cure? Filing your federal and state taxes for free using TurboTax on Credit Karma. All you have to do is start and finish filing on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Just keep in mind, this offer is available only if you didn't file with TurboTax last year. It's time to break free from your fear of messing up. Start filing for free today in the Credit Karma app.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Captid Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Guys, feeling low energy or low drive? It could be low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health, start with a free T-check and consultation. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off TRT. Book now at ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Join Sactown Sports downtown before every Kings game and pick up an In Shape Fitness Kings Rally Towel while supplies last. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
Coming up to start the final hour of the show at 1 o'clock, we're really going to dive into this Domantas Sabonis trade conversation. Y'all, if you're like me hoping that the Kings will make some sort of splash at the trade deadline, which is a week from today, by the way, Domantas Sabonis to the Toronto Raptors, that might be our only hope. Might be our only hope. So we'll talk through what that trade potentially looks like. We'll try and work together to find a way to get that trade done because, again, that might be it other than a Keon Ellis minor little side hustle move.
Fine with it.
So we'll talk through that at 1 o'clock. Would love to get your involvement in that as well. Johnny, I see you on hold. We're going to get to you in just a second. Right now, though, Kayla, you came across the NFL home attendance numbers and rankings this season, and there are some things on there that caught us both by surprise.
Yeah, so, and I really am getting the listeners in the YouTube chat involved on this because if you can debunk this, I would love for you to debunk this because this isn't us that put out this tweet.
Yep.
This is the Fox Sports NFLX account, and it proceeds to say your 2025 NFL regular season home attendance returns. And when we looked at this list, guys, yesterday, we were kind of mind blown in several different ways, but I think it started with who was dead last on this home attendance list.
So who would you think it would have been?
Okay, I would, out of my, just right for this season and what's going on, I would have said, honestly, like a team like the Tennessee Titans or the Arizona Cardinals.
I would have guessed like Carolina Panthers.
I
would have guessed the Raiders even, although I know they're boosted by the opposing team's
exactly,
fan.
Which is, that's a big reason why they are still able to do what they do.
Yeah.
But I never, ever thought it would be this team.
Okay.
You want me to tell you?
Let's go.
It is a team that has found success like this that they have not in a lot of in many, many years.
Yep.
Jacksonville Jaguars?
No.
That would have been a good guess. I would have made a little more sense to me.
It is the Chicago Bears.
The Bears.
What?
Yeah, I never would have said that. Even when that team is bad, that city is rocking for Chicago. So that poses the question: is it because their stadium is one of the smaller ones in terms of seating? Because there's no that team was extremely fun this year, a breakout year for them, a turnaround year for them, and again, win or lose, that fan base is nuts. It's Chicago.
I've got the NFL stadium capacities.
Okay.
According to Wikipedia, so loosely true.
Always true. Always right.
Soldier Field is the smallest NFL stadium at 61,500. We can just reference back to this as we go along.
Okay, so makes more sense. Still doesn't make all the sense in the world because of the teams that are in front of it.
It's not an even playing field.
No, because I am looking at, and I know the Jags have had a good season, but the Jags are significantly higher on this list. Also, you had mentioned the Las Vegas Raiders, which I understand maybe why, but the Atlanta Falcons, guys, I've been in that stadium. Now, this is Mercedes-Benz.
That's a gorgeous stadium.
That does hold a lot, but they have had a floundering season, and it's not the sport there that people flock to, believe it or not. It's like the Braves, and honestly, soccer's huge there. People kind of are out on the Falcons and have been for a while, and they're significantly higher than them.
Where are the Colts on this list? Because they had the breakout year, but no one really saw it coming.
The Colts are 13th on this list,
that makes
just above the Rams.
Okay. Who's not? Okay, let's play. You obviously know. Kyle, you can't see it, right?
No, it's her big water bottle and coffee is blocking the screen.
I'm keeping them there.
Number one. Who do we think the number one is?
Yeah, take a big guess, everyone.
I would the top of mind. I would have guessed the Rams potentially because it's SoFi Stadium, but I'm gonna go Dallas Cowboys or. No, I'm going to go Dallas Cowboys.
It's Dallas Cowboys.
I think that's a good guess. I'm trying to think who else it could be based on who is good this year. Maybe the Eagles.
No, surprisingly, you guys, the Eagles are second to last.
Yeah, that has to be capacity. Where are they at in capacity?
The Eagles are kind of middle of the pack.
That's wild to me.
I mean, that's a little insane.
I mean, I know their season was rocky, but still.
But
you're the Super Bowl champs.
That's why I said if you'd like to debunk this, I would love for us to. But Denver is second.
Is the Cowboys number one?
Yes.
Yeah, the Cowboys are one. Sorry, I thought I had said that. And Kyle's Kansas City Chiefs are third.
That makes sense. Arrowhead is rocking, and that's a dynasty. I would expect Kansas City to be up there.
Are we surprised where the Niners are? And I'm not going to say it yet. I would like you to guess where the Niners are because I feel like fans are very, very loyal there.
I was going to guess they're in the 20s. I was going to guess they're like 22.
Okay.
Where I'm stuck, though, I think the Niners had an extra road game this year. It's like some teams play 9 home games, some teams play 8 home games.
And that plays into it because there was also the overseas games.
Is this total number or total number of attendance?
Home attendance.
Or is there... Okay, so it's total number. It's not like percentages.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because they didn't get the extra home game, I'm going to say like 18.
Okay. 20. So you guys are in the right range. And this maybe makes sense because some of these teams play, overseas.
That ticket is ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that ticket is really expensive at Levi Stadium.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the teams that played 9 and like vaguely trying to remember who played overseas. So like the Raiders had 9 home games, the Chiefs had 9 home games. Weirdly, the Cowboys only had 8, so they're number one despite not having the bonus game.
AT&T Stadium is massive. Plus, like the Cowboys are just a way of life. Like it's regardless of like Jerry Jones has built that empire, they're just a way of life down there. So that doesn't surprise me. What would be very interesting though to me is if when they put together these lists, they should also have average ticket price and how that factors in because.
Good point.
I mean, every stadium is expensive, but like the Las Vegas Raiders have been, if not the most expensive, one of the most expensive tickets in football since Allegiant Stadium opened, and it's primarily because they know they're a tourist attraction. It's not they're not pricing you out to go see Max freaking Crosby. And Geno Smith throws 7 interceptions in a game.
It's Vegas.
It's Vegas.
But Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
If they give him the freaking ball, and he has an O-line that blocks for him. But it's Vegas. It's the opposing team's fan who's going to leave Kansas City in the snow to come to warm, sunny Las Vegas and stay at the wherever the hell at Excalibur, which bad decision.
I think they might almost tear that down here soon.
You're gonna be hitting home runs from the new A's Stadium right into Excalibur's turret. Or New York, or wherever. Like, you make it a whole experience. That's why Allegiant Stadium makes the money that it does.
Sure.
But that ticket is stupid.
It's expensive. And I know that I can't remember the one, the prices in Tennessee. It was the same thing, though, in Nashville. They really had a hard time filling that stadium with two-tone blue. It was a lot of opposing fans, and especially when these really good traveling teams would come. I mean, it'd be filled with the opposing team.
SoFi's like that, too. The only Raiders home game is when they go play the Chargers at SoFi every year.
That's exactly right.
It's all silver and black at SoFi Stadium that game.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting, though.
Raiders haven't had a playoff game there yet, I don't think.
Nope.
No.
The only postseason game there was Super Bowl. That's it. That's the only postseason game that's been there. And Allegiant Stadium is wonderful. If you haven't checked it out, it's state of the art. It's
I need to go check it out.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Incredible stadium. The team that plays there most of the time just sucks. Johnny wants to talk about Sam Darnold. What's up, Johnny? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys?
Good.
Doing well.
Yeah, for Sam Darnold, I think he has the most trade value to, after he wins the Super Bowl, he probably has the most trade value. I'd probably trade him, and I'd just go with Jalen Monroe because he's a future quarterback. And then Drew Lock is also a good backup, but if you just wanted to trade Drew Lock, he also has trade value. So that's why I say Seahawks might be pretty even to, the future of the Patriots, because, Patriots are kind of like a team that just, rebuilt very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thanks for the call, John. It's like, if Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl, you maximize his trade value?
Get him out. Get him out the door. Not saying I'm the biggest fan of him anyway.
I don't hate it. And you know whose trade value is going to be a discussion? We can reference it briefly today, but it's going to be a conversation over the course of this summer. Mac Jones. And we talked about this before. Mac Jones has an interest. Apparently, he's on the Vikings radar, according to Jason Harmon of the NFL. There's a number of other teams interested in Mac Jones. The Colts, right? They're like... Mac's market is going to be something that's very interesting over the course of this summer that the 49ers have to monitor and keep an eye out for. And it sounds like Kyle Shanahan I'm blanking on his name again, the defensive coordinator with the freaking Browns.
Schultz. Jim Schultz. Jim Schwartz, excuse me.
There was a tweet, and I have to find it, but apparently Kyle Shanahan had quite the compliment for Mr. Schultz.
He sure did. Whenever he was asked about that, they'll be calling him Mac Daddy in terms of Mac Jones.
Well, we call him McCorkle.
I didn't like that
Mac
at
Daddy.
all. I didn't like that at all. She looked at me when she said that. I didn't like it at all.
I made him feel uncomfortable.
We made eye contact, and you said that, and I did not feel good about that at all. Well, we're going to take the break. I'm going to gather myself a little bit.
Cool down.
Yep, and we're going to talk Sacramento Kings and a Domantas Sabonis to the Toronto Raptors trade. It feels like the only hope we have of a significant deal. Let's get that deal across the finish line, guys. That's coming up to start the final hour here of Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-489-7733. That's 800-489-7733. 800-489-7733.
Sactown sports fans, when the final buzzer sounds, the real action is just getting started. If you live for big moments, big crowds, and unforgettable nights, you'll find them all right here on the Sactown Sports Live Events calendar. Get ready to laugh until it hurts with Daniel Tosh, live January 24th at the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Then turn the volume all the way up with Ernest, bringing high-energy country to Ace of Spades January 31st. Slow it down and vibe out when Jodeci delivers the classics live February 15th at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Experience iconic sounds and the smooth style of Chris Isaac February 28th at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. And rock legends Jefferson Starship take the stage March 15th at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Comedy, concerts, legendary performances. Find every show, every date, and plan your next big night out with the Sactown Sports Live Events calendar. Play hard, rock harder, only on Sactown Sports.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140. Matt Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Welcome into the final hour of Matt and Kayla here on this Thursday. A week away. 1 week away from the NBA trade deadline. So, welcome back to Let's Make a Deal.
Do we have music?
I did not prepare Kyle. Oh, look, see? Look at this guy.
He's on it.
He's ready for everything.
This is a different game show, but still.
Hey, it works.
Close enough. Sounds right. So, look, if we want the Sacramento Kings to make a trade, a big trade, a meaningful trade, it seems like Domantas Sabonis is our only hope. Like, the Golden State Warriors have been difficult forever about Jonathan Kuminga. Now their attentions have completely pivoted to Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I don't even blame them for it.
I get it.
Go and focus on that, and there's no way, shape, or form that they get Giannis without Kuminga being a part of that deal, more than likely. So that ship has sailed. We know Zach LaVine to Milwaukee has sailed because the only reason they were interested in that was to try and appease Giannis, which never was going to work anyway. So it's really... And there's no really market for DeMar. There hasn't really been a market for Malik. It's Domas, everybody.
Sure is.
It's Domas. And from our Sactown Sports 1140 YouTube chat line, TR the Star says, Toronto has nothing the Kings want. Wrong. I'll tell you, the Toronto Raptors have 1 draft picks. The Kings will take draft picks from anybody. They want to acquire them. 2, RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett and Scott Perry are very close. Scott Perry drafted RJ Barrett when they were in New York together. So I guarantee you, Scott Perry would love to have RJ Barrett here in Sacramento.
And extended him.
Yes. And 3, Toronto is willing to take Domantas Sabonis' contract off your hands with 2 years remaining on it after, 2 years remaining on it after this year.
Sabonis's?
Yeah. It's 2 years left on it at like 47 and 49 million.
God, that's a chunk.
I'm going off the top of my head on this.
It's a little less, but not much.
That's still a lot.
So
it starts with a 4.
There's a lot there.
Yeah.
There's a lot there. 45.4 next year, 48.6 the final year.
Okay.
So yes, there's a lot there that the Sacramento Kings would want. The question is, though, how much they are willing to take back in order to get this deal done, because we know the Toronto Raptors are trying to get off of 2 contracts in particular. You have the Jakob Poeltl contract, which is terrible. Jakob Poeltl is an injured mess, and there's 3 years left on the deal.
Okay.
27.3, 29.4,
Ew,
27.3.
that's huge.
Yeah. And that will take him to up to 34 years old.
Didn't they sign it like last summer?
That is wild.
Those 3 numbers this is the start of the extension. Next year is the beginning of the extension. This season that he's playing on is the final year of his current deal.
No, thank you.
His extension begins next season.
Which really mostly sucks just because he's hurt.
Yes.
Like the bigger thing is like he's just had awful injuries this year.
And you're committing a lot of money to another center. You don't need a center. You're getting rid of a center. So you don't want to commit. I mean, it's not as much as Domantas Sabonis is making, but it's longer term than Domantas Sabonis. And we've been told from Scott Perry that he's got no interest in taking back long-term money, which why would he?
Right. I mean, we get one problem solved.
Yep.
But then it's like you
pick
kind
up
of
another
take
problem,
on another
a different
one.
problem.
Right.
The other part
also,
of
Jakob Poeltl's older than Sabonis.
Yes.
The other part of this conversation is the point guard, Emmanuel Quickly. He's in year 2 of a 5-year deal. Every single year is worth $32.5 million. So he's got 3 more years at $32.5 million a year. The thing is, though, at least he's a point guard, and the Kings could use a point guard, although that's a lot of money, and a point guard that if he's not who Scott Perry wants, like, is he just going to sit there and collect a paycheck and start for you? And I think Emmanuel Quickly can ball. I think he's a very talented point guard. But I don't know how much the Kings are interested in him. Obviously, the Raptors want to move one, or they'd love to move both, but they're not going to be able to, move one of those contracts in a potential Domantas Sabonis deal. RJ Barrett has to come back to the Kings in these trade talks, or more than likely would have to. There's talks of Ochai Agbaji also being discussed in trade talks. Obviously, the Kings are not too thrilled about Jakob Poeltl and Emmanuel Quickly, which may be where these conversations ultimately die. If you're willing to take back those contracts, I imagine the Sacramento Kings are also going, okay, you've got to attach minimum a first-round pick to that if we're going to take that. To which, when we were talking to Frankie and Chris earlier during our Kings Roundtable, they said, well, why would the Raptors want to do that? Well, because you're getting the best player in the deal in Domantas Sabonis who you want. And the Raptors are a playoff team in the Eastern Conference right now and seem to think that he'll be able to help them, which maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Guys, let's get this deal across the finish line. What do we have to, talking from the Kings' perspective,
right?
What do we have to compromise on?
Okay.
What's the most that we can get? How do we get this deal across the finish line so that we can make something outside of just a Keon Ellis for picks or a pick swap happen at this trade deadline? Because this seems like our only hope.
So first of all, when I look at, then there's a lot of information there, but we obviously, we're not going to bring all those players here. We got to decide on which players' contracts we would negotiate with doing. And then also, I kind of feel like I need the pick from them because, again, as much as we want to move off of one of these big contracts here in Sacramento, you have to then know, though, that you are getting something back that will help the future. Mm-hmm. And if it's maybe you're gambling on a couple of these players for really being the future part, because, you know, RJ Barrett, how old is he? Like, he's a good player, but how old is he?
I think he's 26.
Okay, so he's still, like, young, but
I believe he's the same age as Keegan.
He's 25.
I just feel like we want to do this deal and not feel like we just gave Domantas Sabonis away.
RJ will be 26 in June.
Okay, so I want at least the pick.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to start there. So I'm like, let's.
It starts with the pick. It doesn't start with RJ. It starts with the pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kyle?
I'm not going to be much help because I have a different take on the thing. But
then say yours because I can negotiate.
Let's start with the compromise before we talk about the trade as a whole. Mm-hmm. So to get it over the hump, I don't know if Toronto would want to do this, but the Kings would have to add something else other than RJ Barrett and Ochai Agbaji, or make it like a 3-4 team deal,
right?
And move other pieces.
And we're not going to get that big in the weeds. We're talking just between these two teams.
So how about instead of the draft picks or taking on a bunch of contracts they'll have to cut, or taking on Grady Dick, which I think Toronto would be fine moving on from Grady Dick, but he doesn't play for them anymore. They've now gone to Jacoby Walter. He plays better defense. He's kind of taken Grady Dick's role on the Toronto Raptors.
That was a miss. That was a miss in their draft.
Hey, you want to collect former number 13 picks, Sacramento Kings? Go for it.
Yay.
What if you took Colin Murray-Boyles?
I love the idea. I don't think Toronto has any interest in getting rid of him. I think Toronto wants...
Even if they don't have to give up the draft picks?
I mean, I think they view Colin Murray-Boyles as a piece that is sticking around to work with Domas, to not like a star or anything like that, but I think they really like what he's bringing to the table. He's playing well, and if the Raptors are also looking not just to win now this year, of course, they're looking to sustainably succeed, and I think they view Murray-Boyles as a piece that helps them sustainably succeed. So I think the Kings would say, yes, give us Murray-Boyles and RJ Barrett and
Abaji and Grady Dick.
And no draft pick. I think the Kings would do that.
Right.
But I don't think.
Then what if we throw Keon Ellis in?
I have no idea. Well, maybe. I don't know what the Raptors' interest is in Keon. And also, if we're being honest here, when we're talking about deals like this, if we're being realistic, the more players you add to a trade, the less realistic it gets, because it gets really muddy, and there's you don't see these trades where 6 players are being moved, especially between two teams, very often. So we can make it all work in the trade machine and put numbers together, but likely the less players and the more draft picks, or the less players and that's the more likely scenario.
I know that he's been talked about everywhere almost, Keon Ellis. I don't know if he was I was trying to find if he was directly ever somewhat kind of linked to that.
I'm sure the Raptors would like him, but I don't know
if it would be enough. Okay, so okay, where are we at? We're okay with RJ Barrett.
Yes.
That's part of it.
Yeah, RJ Barrett. I like RJ Barrett.
No doubt about it.
I like RJ Barrett a lot.
And he's a Scott Perry guy, so the vision part is there.
Yep.
I know he would like that guy.
RJ Barrett, Keegan Murray, and AJ DeBonsa. Ooh, me likey.
It looks good, right? Okay, so we're at that part. What's the other player at this point?
Well, I mean, Ochai Agbaji is also in that. Fine player, nothing crazy.
Also an expiring
Chris
deal.
Liked
and it's an expiring deal,
and
so it falls off the books. So you can test it out and see if you like it or not.
I can't remember. I think he's a restricted free agent, so that's something.
I can find out for you. But I think where this comes down to, what's going to decide this trade and what we need to really debate here. Mm-hmm. Let's take Jakob Poeltl off the table.
I'm not doing that, by the way.
It's not happening. The Kings aren't doing it. It's not happening.
Unless Toronto attaches a big pick.
Unless they go crazy. And I would even say, if you're getting Sabonis and trading us Jakob Poeltl, it's 2 firsts. Jakob Poeltl's contract is terrible for his age.
It's really bad.
And a center,
No, we're not doing that. Let's take
Emmanuel Quickley is the talking point here.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Quickley's paid more money. But Emmanuel Quickley is younger. He's 26 years old now. He'll be 27 at the start of next season. I think at the start. Well, he'd be 27 during next season.
Okay.
His contract takes him up to 29 years old.
Okay.
It's a lot of money to invest in a point guard, but you need a point guard. And Emmanuel Quickley has game.
Yeah.
So the question is, what do you need, if you're the Kings, what do you need to feel comfortable enough to say, fine, we'll take Emmanuel Quickley? That's where I think this trade falls in the balance. Mm-hmm. How many picks? What is the pick? That's where this trade will be decided. Because if the Kings aren't willing to take either Emmanuel Quickley or Jakob Poeltl in this deal, then I don't think it ever happens.
So here's why I feel like, again, this isn't going to help trying to get it over the finish line. But this deal makes all the sense. The Quickley Barrett picks makes all the sense in the world in June to make.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is, one, in the modern NBA, when a guy has 2 years left on his deal and he's like a megastar, that's the time when we got to at least come to the table and say, what are we doing here? Mm-hmm. De'Aaron Fox was offered an extension, declined. Trae Young, they didn't offer an extension, traded by the deadline. Mm-hmm. Giannis, they 2 years left on the deal. They tried to shop him in the summer, right? 2 years left with these valuable all-NBA type guys is when you kind of got to make a decision. So you can start to have that conversation with Sabonis about do you want to be here in the long run? Do we want you here in the long run? Figure that stuff out.
But that's all prolonging things.
Yes.
Right?
But the other part is, I have no problem taking Emmanuel Quickley right now. The only problem is if you get one of those top 2 picks in the draft and pick your ball handler of the future, all of a sudden Emmanuel quickly becomes redundant and expensive. But if you don't get one of those top picks in the draft and you're picking at 6 or 7 or 8, then Emmanuel quickly for 3 years makes sense, because at the very least, your point guard of the future is going to be drafted in 2027 or 2028 or 2029.
That's a great point.
So we're betting on them if they had a pick at the very, very top and Peterson was there. If they get Peterson, then this would be a little bit wonky.
Yes, or DeBonsa,
But if you get I'd say it's more Peterson than DeBonsa. If you get Peterson, though, you deal with it. And what I mean by that is it's a fantastic point.
It is a really good
you.
point, Kyle.
And what the Kings ultimately have to decide is, do we feel confident outside of now? If the Raptors are legit about this, and it sounds like they're looking.
Keeps going.
They're not going as hard as teams are going after Giannis, but they're looking.
Yeah.
This is a legitimate conversation for them, and I genuinely did not think the Kings were going to have any legitimate suitors for Domantas Sabonis this season. Can the Kings say with confidence going into the offseason or going into next season, we will be able to trade Domantas Sabonis before the last year of his deal? Meaning we will be able to trade him next year either during the summer or at the deadline. If the answer is no, then I don't know if you can pass up this opportunity to move him. But let's play out the theory of what you said, Kyle. If that's the case, you have Emmanuel Quickley on this roster that you're paying $32.5 million a year for the next 3 years. You've got, assuming you haven't moved him, Russell Westbrook's off the books, so bye-bye, Russ. You've got Dennis Schroeder, who's under contract for 2 more years at like $14.5 million or something like that. He's a partially guaranteed only $5 million the last year. That's a movable contract. I'm saying I'm doing everything in my power for pennies on the dollar.
Sure.
I'm moving on from Dennis Schroeder, or you are the end of the bench depth because I got Peterson here and Peterson's playing. Like that's what I do.
Yeah.
Like I feel comfortable working it out with Quickley far more than Jakob Poeltl. And I have a lot of people on Sactown Sports 1140. They bring up a good point, but let's talk about this a little bit. Jakob Poeltl, the final year of his deal is only $5 million guaranteed at its base. But every time starting this season, Jakob Poeltl plays 1,400 minutes in a season, it goes up by $5 million. Oh, God. So I have no idea how many minutes he's played this year. I'd imagine it's not 1,400. But essentially, you are incentivized to pay this guy to sit and not play, because the more you play him, the more you're going to have to pay him in guaranteed money. So you are getting a way more expensive Drew Eubanks / Dario Saric. That's what you're getting.
I don't want to see that again, by the way.
Who gets hurt all the time.
Don't want to
no
see
thanks.
it again.
Like, no thanks. Even if it's less money than Quickley and the last year's partially guaranteed, no thank you.
Okay.
Like, I think Emmanuel Quickley, there could be something there.
Yeah.
By the way, Jakob Poeltl's played 500 minutes.
Yeah, so he's not getting it this year, so it's still at $5 million. But you could play, like, again, you're paying someone, the more you're paying him, and it goes up to $29.4 million, not next season, but the season after that. And that's the season where hopefully the Kings are really starting to make some moves. They've got 2 young rookie studs, or a rookie and a sophomore stud, and now they're trying to add on to that to open up a potential playoff window. If things go right, that's what they're looking at. And you're paying that dude almost $30 million to sit there and collect dust. Because if you play him, now you have to pay him even more guaranteed the final year. No.
I'm fine with the Quickley. I'm fine with the Quickley situation, if that's part of it. But that is still, like, you are rolling the dice a little, right? And you are bringing in money.
Yep.
So I feel like we still need some picks attached.
That's I don't think you can. I don't think there's any way you take Quickley without a first round pick attached to it.
And they have one pretty much each year.
Yes, they have.
Right?
They have good control over there. And if you want to put protections on it, okay, make it like, I'm not doing lottery protected,
right?
But top 10 protected, top 5 protected. If you want, like, they're a playoff team right now, so it's probably not going to be a lottery, or it's not going to be a top 10 pick anyway in the next 2 years.
This does also hit on another reason why the summer makes more sense, is that after June, you can trade both the 2026 and 2027 picks, because once the 2026 pick gets drafted, it doesn't count for the rule where you can't trade.
You can
picks
do this. You can do this on draft night.
Yes,
you can do it on draft night,
or you could
right
agree
afterwards.
to it a week before and say it's not going to be finalized until July 5th or whatever.
Sure. If you're asking me right now, if the deal in front of me is RJ, Quickley, And does Abaji have to be in there as well? Or is it
No.
just, RJ, Quickly.
If it's RJ and Quickly, the Kings also have to add Schroeder or Monk.
Well, then if they're yes, easy. Whichever one they'd prefer. And it might be Schroeder just because it's less money, and then that removes your point guard problem anyway.
That's fine with me.
So if it's RJ and Quickly for Schroeder and Sabonis, and you give me a 2027, let's say top 5 or top 10 protected first.
Perfect.
If you give me that offer right now and I'm the Kings at the trade deadline, I say yes.
I'm saying
yes
as well.
I don't know. And it might be selling low on Domantas Sabonis, and I used to be the biggest Sabonis homer on the planet. I see the value in that man.
And there's still big fans of them. There's still plenty of them.
I see so much value in Domantas Sabonis. I don't know if the Kings are going to truly have a better chance to trade Sabonis than right now with a team that's interested. It's not just that the Raptors are interested in Sabonis. It's because of their circumstance that they're interested in Sabonis. Because what happens,
and
guys?
the type of center Sabonis is, and they're okay with that and think it can work.
What happens if they kick the can? The Kings kick the can and say, "We'll revisit this trade conversation in the summer," and the Raptors go into the playoffs and they play really, really well. Or someone else becomes available in the summertime at the center position. Like, you might be stuck with Domas. I don't know if you're going to ever be able to get off of Domas until he's an expiring deal.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't think it's a bad enough deal to not pick up the phone and say, hey, you think this would work? And we're sitting here and we're waiting, and we just and Scott knows we got to move a piece. We got to move a big piece. Like, that's the number one priority. Yeah. I don't see any world where this just looks disgusting that you're like, that's not a good enough value for Sabonis.
So this is like Shark Tank. I would be out on liking the deal. Like, I don't know if I'd do it or not if I were in Scott Perry's chair.
I don't love it where it's knocking me off my seat, Kyle.
No, but the other reason I would hate this deal if you're the Sacramento Kings is twofold. One, if you're trading an all-NBA player, and again, Sabonis...
He hasn't been. He's not anymore.
He's not there anymore.
He's
I get
paid
that
to be,
point.
and he's not.
But if you're trading that guy, it should move you closer to, like, expediting your timeline, right? When Orlando traded Vucevic and they got the pick that became Franz Wagner, it expedited the timeline. This deal, you're kind of selling low just to move the contract, which is fine. That's what the market's dictating right now. You can make that call. I just wouldn't love if they did that. The other reason I have apprehensions is I don't love the first big move that Scott Perry makes is just bringing in the guys he drafted at the previous stop that he was at. Because Quickly and Barrett were his guys in New York.
I didn't know Quickly was. I knew Barrett was.
But let me ask you this question, and we'll get to it. Just hold on. Side thought, brain. Let me ask you this question. What is the most valuable thing the Sacramento Kings are getting back in this trade? The trade is RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, and a 2027 first-round pick from the Toronto Raptors that's top 10 protected for Sabonis and Schroeder.
Looking at what they're really trying to ultimately do here, pick?
Exactly. In 2027, you now have, because the Kings are going to be bad next year.
Yeah.
In 2027, you're likely getting a high lottery pick. And assuming the Raptors are a playoff team, which they should be unless something goes catastrophically wrong, you're getting let's say a pick in the teens to early 20s. You now have 2 first-round picks, including one of the best, in theory, picks. You're going to have a top 8 pick next year. If not, something went crazy. Something went AWOL. So that's where I'm looking at. By the 2027 draft, you've really cashed in on this deal. That's when you're cashing in. And if it's selling low, if you're 100% right to feel the way you feel if that's selling low on Domantas Sabonis. I don't blame you one bit. A year ago, I would have said, Matt, shut the hell up. You're insane.
Yeah.
But Domantas Sabonis is not the same player he was. This team is not moving in a nearly similar direction, and I don't want the Sacramento Kings to try to build this roster in the future around Sabonis, who's difficult to build around. I don't want to do it.
And it doesn't look like they're moving anybody else.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. They're not going to be able to move Levine right now or DeMar.
You stuck.
Which, in that scenario, the inability to move Levine and DeRozan makes RJ Barrett less valuable because now he's just log-jammed with all the other guards at that point, which is fine, whatever. RJ Barrett's not the important
Scott Perry's RJ Barrett is important to Scott Perry, and Scott Perry's boys are going to play.
Sure.
Like, if Zach LaVine has to have lower back soreness for all of next year until they can dump him for nothing, then he's going to have lower back soreness next year.
Or they'll just buy him out.
Russell Westbrook, in theory, is gone next year. Malik Monk, you're now the backup point guard alongside Emmanuel Quickly until something says otherwise. otherwise. Dennis Schroeder is gone in this deal, so that logjam is a little bit less. Nick Clifford, you're off the bench behind RJ and Keegan. Like there's something there.
I guess, yeah, my apprehension is like you're trying to get shots at the board, right? The 2027 Toronto pick in and of itself is not inherently valuable. Like, it's a first-round pick, but it's going to be most likely in the high teens or early 20s.
Yes.
So it's not inherently itself valuable. It's just another Nick Clifford. But the idea is you're supposed to get as many shots at the board as you can.
Because they're going to need to take as many shots as they can.
Guys, or assets to where the Sacramento Kings, let's say, this is just a total hypothetical scenario. It's the 2027 draft, and the Sacramento Kings have the 8th pick, or the 5th pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Can they move up to number 3 by including their 2027 later first, the 5th pick, and then they even offer that Minnesota Timberwolves pick? The more of these assets, draft picks are some of the most valuable assets in the league right now, period, until there's a name attached to it. Because when there's not a name attached to it, draft picks are printed money. It's like a car. As soon as you attach a name to it, as soon as you drive it off the lot, the value goes down.
But so that was where I was going to counter is I don't think the Toronto pick is the best thing you're getting in the deal. It's nice to get shots at the board
Toronto
and you need to
draft
get picks.
pick.
Yes, I don't think it's that inherently valuable. I think if you're making this trade, you're betting on in the time between Emmanuel Quickley makes some kind of leap. Right? He's going to be playing starting point guard, chucking 35 minutes. Maybe he has a Denny Advia type of ascension after leaving.
Sure.
That's kind of your best bet of having a guy for when the competing starts.
Sure.
But the reason I think you wait until the summer is that if you get one of those premium point guards in the draft, the focus becomes on them. And until you get that guy, Quickley's kind of a nice side project to say, hey, let's see if we can build him up into something nice.
So you're willing to do something like this, Kyle, minus Quickley in the summer?
I think you're fine doing it now for Quickley, but if you make this trade and sell low on the picks, then get your top pick in the draft, Quickley becomes not worthless, but he becomes clutter for what's most important, which is developing your future star.
I think it's more likely than not, if this conversation is happening in real time, Scott Perry's pushing for 2 firsts, and they might be like more heavily protected.
Yeah.
If he's going to try for 2, what I'm saying is if the compromise is just 1 and it's top 10 protected for 2027, I make the trade. I do the deal. Again, Chris, clip this for social because I know this is going to be a talking point on social. I'm curious to get everybody's feedback on this. And I know, shout out to everybody in the chat, comment section. You guys are getting loose on this debate as well. It's a really, really fun debate because Kyle's making incredible points.
Yeah.
It's RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, and a 2027 first-round pick, top 10 protected. This is something we're coming up with. This isn't being reported. This is what we came up with for Domantas Sabonis and Dennis Schroeder.
Yes.
I do the deal right now or right before the trade deadline. Yep. I do it. Kyle says kick it down the road to summertime. A very valid, reasonable idea that very well may end up happening. But if you do that, you run the risk of the Raptors going into the playoffs and working something out and realizing, wait, maybe we don't need Sabonis in the 46 or 44 or whatever it is $million, $45.4 million that he's owed next season, and $48.6 million the season after. Maybe we don't need him. Or, hey, in the summertime, now everybody's open for business, and maybe we can go out and get a different center that's not being paid as much money. So if you kick the can down the road, you better be pretty sure that you're going to be able to move Domantas Sabonis before he's an expiring deal. If that's the risk they're willing to take, I understand that risk for all of the points that Kyle made. But Kayla, you and I are on the same page. We make this deal.
I think I'm making the deal. I got to make a move, guys. I can't just be sitting here and have my hands under my pants and just be like, hey, I'm warming them up.
To be honest with you, I'm doing it selfishly too because I want something different. I want something to talk about. I want something well, I would love to hear people's thoughts on this trade. They might call us an idiot. They might call us geniuses. Kings fans, would you do this deal? And even Toronto Raptors fans, would you do this deal? Let us know. You can call in 916-339-1140, 800-920-1140. We'll break, come back, answer or talk a little bit more about this if you want to. Plus, Kings and 76ers tonight, and the injury report is interesting for Sacramento. That's all still to come here on Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Outgrove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center for your Thursday. Fog lifting out. Looking for partly sunny skies this afternoon and lighter winds. Highs today peak in the upper 50s as few spots make it to 60. We drop back overnight to the low 40s with more fog expected Friday morning. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, you can drive a 2025 Accord Hybrid Sport and enjoy a tradition begun with the first Accord in 1976. Ask about the least you can do. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait. And don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hagen Oaks knows you can buy a driver off the shelf anywhere, but Hagen Oaks is the only place where you'll find total game fitting. The Hagen Oaks TrackMan-powered player performance studio fits clubs to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Ball Fitter finds your optimum golf ball. The putter fitting studio makes you a better putter, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds your correct fit. In fact, Hagen Oaks will fit you from head to toe with equipment and apparel to make you the player you want to be. It's total game fitting, and it's only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Join Sactown Sports Downtown before every Kings game and pick up an In-Shape Fitness Kings Rally Towel while supplies last. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Tune in every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the Toyota Tahoe Report with Johnny Mosley and me, Elena, bringing you the latest weather conditions up at Tahoe. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
What a fun conversation that was in the last segment. We came up with a Toronto Raptors, Sacramento Kings trades coming around or centered around Domantas Sabonis that not all of us liked, but might be, if we're talking realistic and a trade that actually happens, that might be it. Again, R.J. Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, a 2027 first-round pick, top 10 protected for Dennis Schroeder and Domantas Sabonis. I'd do it. Kayla would do it.
Bad.
Kyle would kick the can down the road to summertime to revisit this after we know what pick the Sacramento Kings are going to have and who specifically they draft with that pick. Kyle wants more information. That's not ever a bad thing to have. Hey, check this out. Johnny is back. Johnny called in earlier about Sam Darnold. Now he's back, and I imagine you want to jump in on this trade conversation?
Yes, I do. It's just add like 3 or 4 teams, or if not 5 teams. It'd be the Nets, the Heat, the Rockets, the Nuggets, and the Bucks, because they would need either a point guard or backup point guard or guard just to get out, get off the logjam and the bad contracts the Kings got, and not do add Schroeder with Sabonis. Just do Sabonis and see if the Raptors would take that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting point.
So thinking like they're just cool with just Sabonis and not Schroeder.
And maybe.
Yeah.
But then it's just RJ you're taking back and
right.
Whatever contracts.
Abaji and Grady Dick.
Yeah.
Which maybe you could do that and there's no picks involved in that, but If I know, again, the most valuable thing you're getting in the trade that we put together is you're getting a first-round pick in there. So I don't know if you really want RJ Barrett and you really want to get off of Domantas Sabonis and you don't have to take on Quickly or Pirtle to do it. I just don't know if the Patriots. I don't know if the Raptors take Sabonis' contract without moving on from any of those other 2 bad contracts that they want to move on from.
I probably would say no on that one.
Yeah.
They
not very prudent and opportunistic.
Not prudent and opportunistic indeed. Well, the Sacramento Kings are continuing their long road trip. It's almost at an end. It ends with a back-to-back. The 76ers tonight, and then they have the Washington Wizards, I believe, tomorrow. Yeah. Well, tonight, once again, they're going to be shorthanded. Russell Westbrook is out tonight with foot soreness. So no Russell Westbrook.
Russ not playing?
Another point guard down. Dennis Schroeder's going to move into the starting lineup. No surprise there. Zach LaVine is available. He missed the last couple of games with back soreness. So Zach LaVine is likely back. So he'll get back into the starting lineup, and Russ will be replaced more than likely by Dennis Schroeder. That probably means Nate Clifford is heading back to the bench, and we're still waiting to find out about Malik Monk. He is questionable with ankle soreness. So we'll see if Malik plays in this game or not. But no Russell Westbrook, and then, of course, no Keegan Murray, who's been out with his ankle sprain.
Yeah, it'd be interesting for the first time, I think, this season to not see Russ out there in some capacity. He's been one of the more durable players for this team since we are talking who's out and who's in tonight. DeMar DeRozan and Westbrook have definitely been those guys. So another new look at just maybe seeing some of these young guys get a little more in terms of minutes. But it is going to be interesting just coming off of the conversation we had that Westbrook didn't have his best game in this past game against, what was it?
New York, the Knicks.
The Knicks, yeah. And kind of disappointing closing time minutes as well. So won't be seeing him tonight. Just want to continue to see some of these younger players. I do want to see Neek capitalize on some of these minutes. Hopefully we're going to see more of him again and maybe getting off to a little better start than what he did in the first half of that game against the Knicks.
Yeah, watching Neek's minutes are going to be interesting. I don't think they'll be at like the 33 they were in Detroit when he was starting, because I don't think he starts tonight now that Zach LaVine is back, although Doug Christie might surprise us. You never know. On the Sixers side of things, Joel Embiid is probable to play tonight, knee load management, so I don't know who on the Kings is stopping Joel Embiid, but good luck. Hey, Dylan Cardwell, get out there, buddy. Knock him around a little bit.
Maxime just fouling 6 times.
Yeah, well, maybe. Quentin Grimes is also questionable for the 76ers tonight with an ankle injury. Going back to that New York Knicks game, though, like the offense was just so bad in that game outside of DeMar DeRozan. I know every time you bring up offense around Doug Christie, it's why are you talking about offense? We're defense here. And defensively, you did a lot of good stuff.
It was actually not bad defensively.
Yeah, but you've got to score the basketball also to win games too. So I'm looking to hopefully see an offense that's a little more on the same page and cohesive, not just, hey, DeMar, score, please. We need you.
Well, and I'm also curious, with LaVine back, LaVine's story has been so interesting this year. When he has been healthy, there are those couple games where he shows up for like a couple quarters, and then I just feel like he disappears sometimes.
And he's coasting.
Yeah, and I'm just like, where'd you go, LaVine? It's almost better like when you're on the bench, because I don't even have to worry about like if you're going to turn it on at this point or not. I'm interested to see what that looks like, and just what we talked about, Domantas Sabonis. Again, kind of getting back in a groove. I don't think we fully have seen that from him yet. No. We've seen bits and pieces because he's just not been healthy to consistently be out there. But I'm assuming he's starting as well tonight, as he was coming off the bench for a couple games.
Yeah, Sabonis, I'm just looking for, like, if you get your numbers, are they impactful or not? Because Sabonis had a double-double, was 3 assists away from a triple-double in New York, and I didn't notice anything.
Yeah.
But he was really good in Detroit the game before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Was that
no,
his
he wasn't.
first?
He was okay in Detroit. He was really good in Cleveland when he was coming off the bench. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, to start that game. And then the second half, he started with the starters, and he got his starting lineup spot back. But, like, what I'm looking for with Domantas Sabonis, regardless of if we're hypothetically trading him or not, like, are you, as the best player in theory, because if you're going to be part of the Kings going forward, in theory, you shouldn't be the centerpiece, but you are going to be the best player on this roster until someone else comes in and shows otherwise. Are you playing and having the impact of the best player. Like, don't just put up empty numbers. Anybody can do that on a bad basketball team. Ask Kyle Kuzma. Ask Jordan Poole. Like, we've seen it. Can you put up impactful numbers that are really like that? You were a big difference maker in this game. Because when we saw him play in Cleveland, when he came on the floor, it was like, that was a huge difference-making game from Domantas Sabonis.
He was noticeable.
He was a presence.
Yes.
Be a presence tonight, especially against a superstar center or former superstar MVP center in Joel Embiid.
And that's always fun to watch, those types of matchups, right? In terms of the superstars. I do also want to see, again, him out there with Dylan Cardwell. I think that's been,
it's working
interesting. Well. So I'd like to see that continue to work and grow a little bit more while you have, a guy like Domas here.
Yeah, someone from the YouTube chat line said it's not a popular take, Amdrock says, I'm not impressed with Neek at this point, and Aaron responds saying it's not a popular take, but I agree with you. If we're being honest, like, Neek has not been, and we talked about this before, if you're talking about the three rookies who's been the least impressive, it's been Neek.
Yeah.
Right? Dylan Cardwell is impressive, and we all love him right now because of the impact that he's making. It was Maxime Reynaud a couple of weeks ago, how good he was playing when Sabonis was out, but he's hit a bit of a wall. We're still waiting for that Neek Clifford stretch of games where it's like, okay, there it is. And yes, he's had flashes, he's had moments. He was really good in Detroit, followed it up with a not-so-good performance in New York, although he had a couple of plays in there that were like, there you go. That's what's next for Neek. That's what I'm waiting to see for Neek is, can you string together 3-4 performances in a row, not where you're scoring 15-plus points, not where you're shooting 50% from three-point range, but you're just impactful consistently. That's what's next for him.
It's always hard, too, when you are on a wonky team like this with just different people out there on different nights, and there is no flow necessarily ever on any given night. There is just a difference all the time, and especially with a young player, and I know he's older for his draft class, but for a young player, trying to just get those consistent minutes with consistent bodies on the floor, that's like non-existent here. So I get parts of that too in terms of his position, but he has to find a way to start working through that as well.
What do you say we invite the drive guys in, Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles? I would love to run this Raptors trade by them to see if they like it, hate it, or somewhere in between. The drive guys join us to wrap up the show here on Sactown Sports.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
When a person is seriously injured, there's no substitute for the personal legal relationship offered by the local NorCal firm of Ashton and Price. From the first attorney meeting, every important decision is made with a direct consultation with, and I can't believe I have to say this, a real, live, experienced, flesh and blood local attorney. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton and Price, serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries with no fee until we win. For the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Brian's headed to the basketball court, but he's sick of this check engine light. So he goes to AutoZone for the free Fix Finder service,
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
where a friendly AutoZoner reads the light in just a few minutes and gives him a detailed report
No big, just a loose gas cap.
and gets him to the court with a tight gas cap and tighter defense. The free Fix Finder service at AutoZone. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and operated. We know what businesses like yours need, from reliable printers to high-performance copiers. We'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. And more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. It's the perfect Valentine's gift. Surprise them with live country music and dancing. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center and Hilton Sacramento. For more info, visit CITPFest.com.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
The Drive guy.
Thanks. Hi. Alan, your thoughts?
Hopefully plural.
He's not there.
At some point.
Although he told me to move out my chair. Move! Get out the way!
Yeah. Shoo.
Alan's not above the flex, is he?
No.
The show up late flex.
He's got the guns. We see him wearing the tight polos. We know what he's doing.
We did break early in his defense.
Oh, that's true. Well, we got Whitey Gleason in here. Alan Stiles will join us momentarily, and I'm excited to run this Toronto Raptors trade by you guys that we came up with because I'm just curious your guys' thoughts on it. But Whitey, since you're musically inclined, we'll bring you in.
Well,
I didn't say.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I'll bring you into a conversation that we started our show with. I've been told I'm crazy, and apparently Kayla's the same way. Kyle's the same way too. So at least we all agree on this. I've been told we're crazy for having, instead of a bunch of different playlists based off of moods or genres that we like, just one big playlist that has all of our favorite songs on it. And when you hit shuffle, you'll just go all over the map, all over the genre base. You're just, it's just
like
one big playlist of all our favorite songs.
I'm with you guys.
Hey, good. Okay.
Yeah.
See?
I think it depends what you want from your music. Some people just want to let's have a good time.
Yeah.
Some
Right.
people think, I need it. It's like a form of therapy. So I get that.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
If Whitey says it, then now it's good.
I agree. We still have to ask Alan because I still have a feeling he's going to be the opposite of all of us.
Yeah, probably.
Don't you think?
He's more sensitive.
What about Disneyland adults? How do you feel about Disneyland adults?
Not a good time to ask me. I go back and forth on that.
Oh, okay.
You do?
I do.
When's the
Right
last
now,
time you've been?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
How do you go back and forth? What changes?
I don't know.
The
Just
weather?
sometimes I see the commercials like let's go.
I wanna go.
Other times I see the commercial, and speaking of It's a Small World,
That's crazy. That's crazy. Hey, that was your own partner.
Also,
I think he's short, Tim.
He also
I think he's short.
referenced riding rides.
No,
today.
that was me. That was me.
That's-
We don't have to bring that up.
Alan's just checking in here. So you're probably crazy about all the Star Wars stuff, right? In Disneyland.
That's
Me?
Universal.
Yeah, no, that's Harry Potter. Harry Potter's
You're a
Universal.
wizard,
Star
Harry.
Wars.
I know you like
yeah,
Harry
Disney?
Potter.
Yeah, they have a Star Wars land at Disneyland.
It's been a while. since
Their
I've
main
been.
ride is closed for refurbishment right now, so those prices better be down. Because if you're paying to go to Disneyland right now and you can't go on that
Matt
Star
knows
Wars
this.
ride,
Yeah, the hyperdrive is defective or something.
sure.
I know
Alan,
you like Harry Potter.
2 questions. 1, your opinion on Disney adults. 2, do you have multiple different playlists, like of all your different genres and musics and moods, or do you have, like the rest of us, one big jumbled mess playlist that has all your favorite stuff on it, but when you shuffle through it, you can go anywhere?
No pressure, but 3 in the room feel one way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which way are you?
Well,
I already
I'm
know,
going to
Alan.
skip on the Disney because I don't want to tick anybody off. But
Well, no, that's the point. You always tick people off.
well, that's different. This is like people's personal lives,
His?
I don't know.
Well, he likes to
A
go.
lot of go.
Tread carefully.
I
I
go.
think I know the answer on
Yeah, I
this.
said go. Have fun.
I got the broadcast from there once. You know the rockets?
Yeah, the Astro Orbiter is
Yes,
what it's called.
I actually got the broadcast.
Idiot.
doing
one?
that.
Dork.
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so have fun. To each their own.
I don't like it.
I
When are you
got
taking
lost at
the
Disneyland.
girls?
I don't
At
like
least
your
or-
Yeah, the rule is not till the oldest gets 4. I'm not wasting my money.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not.
They're free before that.
it's still a trip. Yeah, but my wife and I, it doesn't do anything for us. Right. But some people it does, and that's great. All right. You know,
took our youngest on Star Tours.
I don't like your tone.
Not a good, not an example of good parenting. She was not 4 yet.
Yeah,
and she was too young for.
Yeah, I just made up the number 4. It just feels like a good number.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah, 4 feels like a good number for that type of trip. But Spotify or music playlists, I'm definitely a big music person. So every Friday, I do the new Music Friday playlist, and I'll pull what I like from that. And then I have a workout playlist. I have all of the, I have a summer playlist that I'll make. I have a winter playlist, and then I have the end of the. What's that?
What?
We get it.
You have that many?
Yeah, like for this past year, okay, I had.
That's a lot of work.
Not really. For this past year, I have a new playlist for every Friday that comes up. That's how I figure out what music I like.
So they make it for you. It makes it for you. Or do you make
it does kind of, but it doesn't have everything.
Right.
Right. So it's got the release radar, which is your stuff, and then New Music Friday, which is everything. So I blend that together every Friday. And then from what I like, I come up with a spring-summer playlist, spring-summer 2025, and then fall-winter 2025. And then it all gets thrown into my Wrapped. And then I have my top played songs of the year.
And your Spotify Wrap tells you have the average age of listening of a 16-year-old.
17.
That is 17. Wild, Alan.
Yeah.
I'm very tired.
Yeah.
I got lost.
No, see, look, summer, I got fall. Oh, where'd it go?
I did not expect that.
Yeah, I got fall 2025. I got spring 2025.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go back to it.
He's opposite of all.
Yeah, see, I already started for 2026. 119, 2026, every week. And I got to do one tonight.
I have fall and summer and spring 1925.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my baby.
See, then I make them, for the bachelor party. I had to make one for the bachelor party.
Oh, my goodness.
What? I had to make one
Alan's like
for
a
the
party
Batch
planner
Boys.
on the side.
The Batch Boys weekend.
So that's like the Guerneville Grooves?
Yeah, that's what it was.
What's one of the songs on there? I'm curious.
Let's see. This one was
country.
one was very house forward. Yes, this one was very house
like EDM?
forward.
EDM,
Yeah, like some Gold Link, we got good stuff. Club Husband by T-Pain. So we got some good stuff.
See, sometimes I don't believe that Alan Stiles has 2 kids because
I
how
know,
could
me
he
too.
with all this freaking free time he has to
I
do
just
this?
don't sleep.
Well,
yeah.
Oh.
I
I
should.
should learn how to do that.
No, I go to sleep average time 2 a.m., something like that.
You have,
Especially now, I can get up late. But
That's right.
I did that before
You
anyway.
have no bags, nothing.
Yeah, I did that before anyway, Yeah. There's
grinding.
money to make.
If we could all be Alan Stiles.
There's money to make.
If you want to see degeneracy, it's Alan Stiles on all of his betting apps that he plays before games. But
So I've heard.
Whoa. What do you
No,
mean?
it's Smallin' Miles.
Whoa.
No,
Yeah, I don't know.
What pisses
Smallin'
me off
Miles.
about Alan
I don't understand.
Smiling Isles is there's it's just these $2 little things, and it's so much fun to do.
Yeah.
Smallin' Miles.
I don't know. Yeah, what you're talking. I play for the love of the game. That's all I've ever played.
Attaboy.
Well, how much do you love or not love this trade that we came up with?
Let's go.
We, at this point, the only big move that I think that we have left to hope for the Kings between now and the trade deadline, which is a week from today, is a Domantas Sabonis move. Other than that, it might be like a little Keon Ellis thing, and that's it. So we know the Toronto Raptors are interested in Domas. That has legs. So we worked together to figure out what a package would be that we would accept for Domantas Sabonis. And what we came up with was RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley plus a 2027 first-round pick that's top 10 protected for Domantas Sabonis, and you have to include Dennis Schroeder or Malik Monk for salary, but Schroeder's money comes off the books earlier, so we figured that's why they'd want to do that. For Domas right now.
I had said I want 2 firsts for him if I'm going to trade him. I know I'm not going to get that, so I don't think I would do that.
Okay.
I'm not sure what all I'm getting back. A little bit, but I'd pass on that.
We want to move someone,
I'm
folks.
leaning towards doing it because I get it. I'm the second draft guy, right? I love a good second draft. I do. And technically, that'd be the third draft for RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley. I do have a counter question, though. Emmanuel Quickley, 32 and a half a year.
For the next 3 years.
Who is point guard? Very important, right?
Yep.
Who is the Raptors' other point guard?
Well, they have Brandon Ingram.
Dennis Schroeder.
Brandon Ingram is not one of those. He's not one of those. We're not doing that with Brandon Ingram.
Guys.
We're not doing, he's the point forward thing. My point is, if the Raptors are willing to move Emmanuel quickly with really no other point guard option, that doesn't bode well for Emmanuel quickly, in my opinion. Now, I get it. Maybe in Sacramento, we've obsessed over point guards too much, but I truly don't know who their other guy is.
Well, it's not so much, in my opinion, that the Kings want Emmanuel quickly to play point guard. It's that the Raptors are going to insist you take one of their 2 contracts, and there's no way in hell I'm touching Jakob Poeltl and his deal.
Yeah.
So it's quickly.
Pardon me. I think they like quickly. He plays a lot for them, and he plays well. And I know they're trying to get out
Toronto,
from
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. They don't have,
but I don't think they're in any hurry to trade him.
Right.
Well, then they're not getting Sabonis because Jakob Poeltl's not happening.
But that's what I'm saying. They don't have another kind of, forget point guard word. What is it? Primary ball handler guy.
They don't have a
right?
log jam.
They have the opposite of a log jam.
Yeah.
So
Sabonis.
that was my question. And maybe they are going to lean on Sabonis, but the Kings couldn't lean on Sabonis. They had to bring in 14 point guards. So apparently that didn't work. Didn't work.
Want to throw in a couple other ones here?
Yeah. No, there's some more.
More point guards.
Yeah. Where's Devin?
Yeah.
Big Devin day.
Yeah, Devin.
Send Devin back.
Yeah.
Big Devin
Send
day.
Devin.
Yeah, send Devin.
Send Devin. Why
Hi,
not?
Devin.
He'd love the 6.
I think there's a very big reason why this probably won't happen, but it's what we have one segment today, and that's what we're diving into as well. I know you guys have been talking about it. We're diving into the trade talk, especially after what Domas said to Jason Anderson of the Bee about how, it feels different this year. So we're looking at it, and I know yesterday we talked to Chris Biederman. Yeah, and he said the players are preparing for stuff. A lot of the players are thinking something.
A lot of them are hoping
doesn't mean
for
they're
it.
right, but they're thinking
There's a
something
feel.
could happen.
They're hoping for it, and we've heard the rumors and rumblings that Sabonis that they thought something was getting close and something was getting done. I believe wholeheartedly Zach LaVine wants to get up out of here. I believe DeMar DeRozan would not mind playing for a team that actually is playing for something for the rest of the season. So I don't blame them for having their bags packed, but. Look, beggars can't be choosers sometimes, too. If the Kings really want to make some moves, there's not going to be a perfect, shiny move out there. And if taking Emmanuel Quickley back is what you have to do, who, by the way, Emmanuel Quickley has a history with Scott Perry along with
I
RJ
didn't know
Barrett.
he did I knew Barrett. But I didn't know
that's a compromise that you have to. If you kick the can down the road to the summertime, which is what Kyle mentioned doing, which makes there's a very logical argument for it. You run the risk of the Raptors losing interest or finding another opportunity elsewhere, and how sure are you that you're going to be able to move Domantas Sabonis again before he's just an expiring deal that you have to take pennies on the dollar for? If you can move Sabonis, move Sabonis.
Yeah, I think it's less about moving Sabonis or losing him for nothing or losing value on him, and it more so becomes a question about the hybrid rebuild or lengthening this thing out. If you believe, hey, we'll be able to move on from Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan will be fairly easy to move off of, you get lucky in the draft, and even if you get a top 5 guy, not even a top 3 guy, you might want to keep Sabonis for this next season, unless you're just trying to be absolutely horrible.
And it maybe we've had this whole conversation too. Like, is he a hostage at that point? Is he like?
I don't think so, though. I mean, his grapes are growing. He loves Napa.
He does love him some Napa.
I don't.
Right.
Hey,
it could just be
don't cut that.
Drinking beverages on the board, feeling good.
I don't. It doesn't feel like to me. He's got the coach that he wanted, right? We don't need to open that door again. It doesn't feel like to me a Zach LaVine situation,
way worse.
Right?
But. Things can change.
But I think pardon me, man. I'm sorry. I think the Raptors are not as excited about this deal as the Kings are.
Yeah.
I don't think the Raptors, I think, would rather, reading everything that I'm reading out of Toronto, they'd rather have someone like Yves Missi. Somebody who, they don't want to shake up their whole team. They like their team.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And I think a lot of what we're hearing is coming out of the Kings side. How about this? How about that? I think Toronto's like, we don't really want to do that, but if you'll take these contracts you don't want, maybe we got something. And I think the Kings like, no, we're not doing that. I think Toronto's like, okay.
Well, then that's the position that this team is perpetually in with this group.
Yeah.
Because that's the roster that Scott Perry inherited, and while we can't blame him for that, if he goes to the trade deadline and doesn't do anything, I understand not making a bad trade and for the sake of making a bad trade, but if you're going to roll this out for the rest of the season, be prepared to have a lot of either hostile crowds at the Golden One Center or nobody there at the Golden One Center.
And us talking about the same stuff.
And yes, give us something.
Woo!
Yeah,
give us something.
I do have reunion conversation that does include the Raptors, and it might speak to what exactly they want to get done. That's coming up next.
Well, stay tuned for whatever that voice
Do
is.
I have to be here for that?
Yeah.
You are, Whitey, the door is
Whitey,
locked.
you can go. Don't worry.
You can't leave,
Yeah.
Whitey, the door. It's locked.
I ain't
the
gonna be here.
drive, guys. Coming up next, Matt and Kayla back for you on this Friday edition. Coming up tomorrow. We'll see you at 10 a.m. See ya.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies